This is Nationwide 90 FM, owned and operated by Nationwide News Network Limited. We broadcast from our studios at 14 Ocean Boulevard in the Digicel Center, downtown Kingston, Jamaica. Transmitting on the FM 90 band, 90.3 from Peters Rock in St. Andrew and Murphy Hill in St. Anne. Serving Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine, St. Anne, parts of Clarendon, St. Mary and St. Thomas. 90.5 from Huntley in Manchester, transmitting to St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Manchester, Clarendon, rural St. Andrew and parts of St. Thomas. And 90.7 from Cooper's Hill in St. Andrew and Flower Hill in St. James. Serving Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, sections of Trelawney, Kingston, St. Catherine, Clarendon, St. Mary, Portland and St. Anne. Nationwide 90 FM also broadcasts on YouTube at Nationwide 90 FM Live 2, RevoNews.ai and on Flow on channel 916. Nationwide 90 FM, a new revolution in media.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6 o'clock. From the studios of Nationwide Radio, morning radio the right way. It's Nationwide This Morning. A very good morning to you. I'm Tawna Thomas. Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning, Friday, February 13, 2026. Small businesses breathe a sigh of relief as they appear to have escaped the brunt of $35 billion tax package announced by the government. Meanwhile, analysts say they are keen to see how the government will collect GCT imposed on so-called digital services. Person of interest in murder of soldier turns himself in to the police. In regional news, the Barbados Prime Minister wants deeper regional unity and solidarity amid increasingly challenging geopolitical times. In international news, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is set to make a major speech at Munich Security Conference. In sports, defending champions Excelsior battle St. Catherine on opening day of First Global Bank Grey Shield. And in business, Flow has been named the fastest mobile network in Jamaica. The details after the break.
You've stood with us through every headline and every difficult moment. The Family Club is how we keep this going strong. Together, join the Nationwide 90 FM Family Club now on Patreon.
Catch the first news of the day. A comprehensive package of local, international, sports, and business news. The news at 6 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. Former president of the Micro, Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises Alliance, MSME, Donovan Wignall, says he is relieved that small businesses appear to have been spared the effects of the raft of new taxes set to be imposed at the start of the new fiscal year. He was reacting to the $35 billion tax package that forms part of the $1.4 trillion estimates of expenditure for the 2026-27 fiscal year, tabled in Parliament on Thursday.
I breathed a sigh of relief when I heard that the usual taxes weren't touched. The GCTs, STT and fuel, those taxes not touched. Income tax. I expected that she would have taxed cigarettes, sweet beverages, those taxes that are really lifestyle. For small businesses, the impact on small businesses, I'm not seeing any significant impact to the operation of small businesses. What I am looking forward to is to how the minister, through policies, are going to make the lives of small business easier.
Among the proposals are the application of general consumption tax, GCT, to digital services and intangible goods, as well as a special consumption tax on non-alcoholic sweetened beverages. Additional increases have been proposed for alcoholic beverages and cigarettes. The measures also include an increase in the environmental levy, higher GCT on specified tourism-related products, and a possible rise in property taxes. The government says the measures come as it prepares to meet reconstruction costs linked to damage caused by Hurricane Melissa. Wignall is hoping that the government will introduce a moratorium for small and micro businesses as the measures take effect.
I know we got 6 billion odd from multilaterals. If we could get a moratorium on the payment of that, seeing that we're in strenuous times now, if we could probably get a 2 or 3 year moratorium until this particular crisis is over. Hopefully we don't have another one. A moratorium on the payments, giving us some more fiscal space to have some money. And I think the relaxation of the fiscal rules also does, at this point in time, give the minister some additional wiggle room to maneuver out of the spending that is going to be needed for Hurricane Melissa.
Donovan Wignall, former president of the MSME Alliance. He was speaking during Nationwide at 5 on Thursday. Meanwhile, tax expert and managing director of APIRT Advisory Services, Alison Peart, says that the proposed GCT on digital services appears to be targeting applications that are operating in Jamaica outside of a brick-and-mortar structure and which have no tax obligation to the government.
If you imported services from overseas, you who consumed it were supposed to report it to the tax authorities and pay that reverse GCT. I'm not sure people realize that. So what this is doing is trying to clarify that whether you're a registered taxpayer or not, if you consume certain digital services, you will have to pay it. When you come with the Netflix, etc., it depends on how they define the act. But based on what I'm seeing, this is more targeted to Airbnbs, the Ubers, and it appears to be that. Now, Netflix could get caught depending on how the app works. Until we see that law, they could do it.
Alison Peart, managing director of APIRT Advisory Services, and economist Keenan Fortness says he is interested to see just how the government will impose GCT on digital services.
If you're talking about digital services, does that mean, for example, Airbnb or Uber, or would it be other items like Spotify, Amazon, and things like that? My mind intuitively is telling me it is the former rather than the latter. So that might make it a little more easy to collect than to say, you're levying a tax on something like digital streaming services. How do you begin to think about collecting taxes on those as opposed to something physical like Airbnb and Uber?
Keenan Fortner, economist. They were speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Thursday. And CARICOM, a tax leader and partner at PricewaterhouseCoopers Jamaica, Brian Denning, says he's not surprised by so-called lifestyle taxes announced on Thursday by Finance Minister Favour Williams.
The sin taxes on alcohol and cigarettes, that's not unexpected because that tax was last set in Jamaican dollars at a specific rate in 2017. So even just recalibrating this to current price is not surprising. There's a lot of concern about the sweetened beverages and its impact on the health of the society. So it's not maybe that surprising that there was a proposal to put GCT on sweetened beverages, a special consumption tax on sweetened beverages.
One of the proposed new tax measures is the application of GCT to vehicles imported by public sector workers.
The exemption for SCT and the customs duty 20% rate, I understand, will continue. But the difference is that GCT will be chargeable. So if this would be, I would say, a withdrawal. Maybe it's a testing of the waters. But ultimately, as public sector salaries are realigned to market rates, I think some of these traditional concessions that were offered maybe as a quid pro quo for showing that wage restraint in agreements, we would maybe see a further removal of them.
Brian Denning, CARICOM tax leader and partner at PricewaterhouseCoopers Jamaica. He was speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Thursday evening. Now, the prosecution on Thursday called its fourth witness in the Klansman gang trial. The witness, a forensic crime scene investigator, testified about processing a 2017 murder scene in Spanish Town, St. Catherine. 25 accused, including alleged gang leader Tasha Miller, are before the courts charged under the anti-gang legislation. The prosecution's case is built around 16 separate criminal acts allegedly committed between August 2017 and November 2022. Robin Williams reports.
Klansman gang trial continued with the Crown calling a detective corporal attached to the police's scenes of crime unit. The detective testified that on September 16, 2017, at about 10:30 p.m., he was instructed by his supervisor to attend and process a crime scene. He said he gathered his equipment and proceeded to Roger Avenue in the Fairview Park area of the Eltham Park community in Spanish Town, accompanied by a female constable. At the scene, the witness said he observed spent shell casings near a motor vehicle, what appeared to be a pool of blood in front of the vehicle, and what appeared to be bullet holes in the windscreen and the left pivot glass. The witness said he photographed the scene and each item of evidence individually, dusted the exterior of the vehicle for fingerprints, and recovered a fingerprint from the left rear passenger glass. He further testified that he prepared a rough sketch of the scene, took measurements, and collected all items of evidence, placing each in separate envelopes, which he kept in his possession. In court, several photographs taken by the witness were shown, including images of the roadway where crime scene tape had been erected, the motorcar parked on Roger Avenue, numerical crime scene markers, a pair of brown slippers, spent shell casings, and the pool of blood previously referenced. Also shown were images of a police report, a GPS reading identifying the location of the crime scene, the pivot glass of the motor vehicle bearing a fingerprint, and a photograph of the body bag the deceased was in. The witness told the court that the fingerprint recovered was taken to the Automated Fingerprint Identification System Department, where he was later informed that there was no hit. The detective testified that he and his team later went to the Spanish Town Hospital Accident and Emergency Department, where he observed the body of a deceased male lying in a wheelchair, already pronounced dead. He described the deceased as being of dark complexion, wearing a gray t-shirt and blue jeans, and having Rastafarian hairstyle. He said he observed what appeared to be bullet holes in the upper chest area. The witness said he photographed the body, after which it was tagged by a morgue attendant and placed in a white body bag and secured. He told the court that the images from his camera were later downloaded to a computer and placed onto a CD. The CD was admitted into evidence. The detective further testified that on Friday, September 22, 2017, he retrieved the collected evidence and transported it to the forensic laboratory, where it was handed over to a forensic analyst. This evidence relates to the murder of George Richards, which forms part of the 32-count indictment before the court. Defendants Dwayne Frater and Lamar Rowe are charged with the murder. The trial continues on Friday morning at 10. Robianne Williams for Nationwide News.
One of the persons of interest in the murder of a member of the Jamaica Defence Force, JDF, has surrendered to the police. The man, known only as Diddy, reported to the police in the company of his brother on Wednesday. He was being sought by the police in connection with the murder of 24-year-old Private Daniel Dale Crawford. Private Crawford was shot and killed by gunmen in an area off Waltham Park Road in St. Andrew on Tuesday. The police also listed a woman known only as Kim as a person of interest in the killing. She has not yet surrendered. According to the police, Diddy is being interviewed by detectives at the Major Investigations Division, MID. It's reported that on Tuesday night, Private Crawford and a police constable were traveling together when he received a phone call. Private Crawford then indicated to the policeman that he would be making a drop-off to a female friend along Waltham Park Road. Private Crawford drove to Stephen Lane, where he exited the vehicle, leaving the policeman inside. It's reported that Private Crawford was shot while at the location, and the policeman was chased and shot at by gunmen. The constable escaped and alerted the police. Private Crawford was pronounced dead at hospital. The Manchester Police have identified individuals who they believe can assist with their investigations into the murder of a 4-year-old girl in Land Settlement last Sunday. Commanding officer for the division, Superintendent Kerry Duncan, was speaking at Thursday's monthly meeting of the Manchester Municipal Corporation.
We have identified some persons whom we believe can help us. I don't want to call their name at this point, but we have identified some persons. It is my belief, based on our intelligence, our investigation, that this child was not the target of this attack at all. I'll implore persons to find amicable way of resolving their issues other than violence. We recognize that this child was a victim of the circumstances. So I want to appeal to the persons who are so involved, to appeal to your conscience, to say that we made a mistake. So feel free to come into us.
The child is identified as Sonoya O'Brien, otherwise called Summer. It's reported that Sonoya and her father were in a motor vehicle when it was fired upon by gunmen in an area known as Steel Tank. They were taken to hospital where the child was pronounced dead on arrival. Her father was admitted for treatment in serious condition. Superintendent Duncan says the police will not relent in their efforts to find those responsible for the brutal attack.
We are saying that we have the information, we have the intelligence, and we certainly will be leaving no stones unturned. We certainly will be pulling out all the stops to ensure that this little girl and her family receive the kind of justice that we believe that they should. This is a very unfortunate situation, one that should not happen in Jamaica, particularly in Manchester at this time.
Superintendent Kerry Duncan, commanding officer for the Manchester Police. The St. Mary Police say they're following strong leads in the investigation of 2 murders which occurred in the parish on Monday. Commanding officer for the parish, Superintendent Anthony Wallace, says arrests will be made soon. On Monday, sometime after 4 a.m., a 59-year-old businessman, Garfield Singh, was ambushed at his home and fatally shot by unknown assailants in Boscobel. In another incident a few hours later, 32-year-old Kemoy Findlay of Stockholm Park, Highgate, was also shot and killed by unknown assailants. Superintendent Wallace described the murders as an anomaly and sought to reassure residents that the parish remains safe. In the meantime, Superintendent Wallace also highlighted reductions in violence across the parish. He says that St. Mary is seeing a 25% reduction in murders and a 50% reduction in shootings. He noted that the division has been carrying out organized operations with over 20 conducted weekly. Superintendent Wallace says focus is being placed on all the main players across the division. And a man linked to the 100 Rounds gang in Hanover was shot and killed during an alleged confrontation with the police on Thursday. He has been identified as Sedaine Downer, otherwise called Biteman, of a Hanover address. The incident occurred in Old Folly Discovery Base St. Anne during a targeted police operation. Commanding officer for the St. Anne Police, Senior Superintendent Carlos Russell, confirmed the fatal shooting.
During the operation, there was a confrontation and Mr. Downer was injured. He was rushed to the St. Anne's Bay Hospital, where he has since been pronounced dead. One firearm has been recovered. The investigation in that is ongoing, and INDICOM and other relevant authorities have been informed. Mr. Downer is originally from the Hanover Division. He was charged for murder and other offences and is reporting on condition of bail in the Discovery Bay space.
Nationwide News sources in Hanover say Downer was one of the main hitmen in one of the parish's most violent criminal gangs and was implicated in several shootings. At the time of his death, Downer was reportedly on bail for murder and was required to report to the police in St. Anne. His criminal history includes 2 charges of wounding with intent in 2018. He also has a murder charge from December 2021 in connection with the killing of Evan Wallace. Sources further alleged that while in custody for that matter, he orchestrated the 2022 killing of Wallace's brother, Franklin Wallace. Meanwhile, SSP Russell says the St. Anne Police Division has recorded an overall reduction in serious crimes.
We have 4 murders compared to 5 last year. We are continuing to do our works targeting criminal suspects as also wanted persons, and we believe that for this year we can achieve our target of less than 36 murders. As it relates to clear up, we have seen a high success rate. Of the 4 murders that have been committed so far, 3 are cleared, and we are working assiduously to clear the others. I would want to say to the criminals to leave criminal activities alone, first and foremost. Also, when our officers come to your location, we're asking that you obey the instructions of the officers, and we're asking not to confront our members, because if you do, then police will have to respond.
SSP Carlos Russell, commanding officer for the St. Anne Police Division. And that's it for the local segment of the news. Up next, regional and international.
Where music is played, copyright owners must be paid. This time signal is brought to you by Jamaica Music Society. The time by Jams is
6:20.
We established Plan Secure Jamaica, backed it with a $90 billion budget, investing in our security forces. We are now reaping the results. The next phase of the plan is to move the society to peace.
The proceeding was brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
In regional and international news this morning, regional news in Barbados, Prime Minister Mia Mottley has called for deeper regional unity and solidarity among Caribbean nations, warning that small states cannot effectively navigate today's complex geopolitical environment on their own. Speaking to reporters at State House after her swearing-in ceremony following the Barbados Labour Party's historic third 30-0 general election landslide, Mottley says the current global climate demands that Caribbean countries stand together to protect their interests and ensure fair treatment on the international stage. According to Barbados Today, Mottley says the international rules-based order is critical for small states as it creates opportunities for fairness and allows countries like those in the Caribbean to articulate their unique circumstances and challenges. Prime Minister Mottley also underscored the importance of regional solidarity in helping Caribbean nations maneuver and negotiate in an increasingly uncertain world. She admitted that crime was a major issue affecting Caribbean states, noting that while Barbados may not face the same level of violent crime as some of its neighbors, the problem remains a regional concern. International U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has spoken of a defining moment and a new era as he travels to Europe for a major speech to the Munich Security Conference. The BBC is reporting that Rubio will lead the U.S. delegation at the first major global event since President Donald Trump threatened Danish sovereignty with a pledge to annex Greenland. French President Emmanuel Macron has insisted Europe must prepare for independence from the U.S., while the NATO Secretary General has stressed that transatlantic bonds are as close and important as ever. The war in Ukraine, tensions with China, and a potential nuclear deal between Iran and the U.S. are also on the agenda as the security conference gets underway. At last year's conference, U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance attacked Europe, including the UK, for policies on free speech and immigration. His speech triggered a year of unprecedented transatlantic tension. About 50 world leaders are set to attend the conference, which will discuss European defense and the future of the transatlantic relationship at a time when U.S. commitments to NATO have been called into question. And that's it for regional and international. Up next, sports.
We love showing you the fun side of Jamaica. New places, good food, real vibes, and pure adventure.
Sweet Jamaica, we not left ya.
If you enjoy exploring with us, come closer. Join the Nationwide 90 FM Family Club today on Patreon.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Time now for your morning sports. Defending champions Excelsior will begin the defense of their first Global Bank Grey Shield schoolboy title on Friday when they host St. Catherine. Excelsior will be looking to set the tone early as they aim for back-to-back championships. Head coach Kirkland Bailey says his team is focused.
Primarily we'll be competitive, playing good cricket. My youngsters the school is in a bit of a transition, but we have talented players there in the mix, and we are aiming to defend our title when it all was done in the end. We want to make sure that we are at least in the finals again, because nothing is guaranteed, and my youngsters have to be doing well on the field of play and in the classroom. I have six farmers currently in my setup, and I'm looking for them to be transitioning into university, so I hope that they can be mature, and you'll see that leadership on the field of play while they'll be successful in their external exams as they look to move on to UWI or UTech in the very, very short future.
In other games on Friday, Innswood High will face Bridgeport. Former champion St. Jago's square off against Wolmer's. Calabar battles St. George's College, and Jonathan Grant will take on Norman Manley. Former West Indies fast bowler Ian Bishop says momentum is key as the Windies look to build on back-to-back wins on their first two matches at the ICC Men's T20 World Cup. The West Indies opened the tournament with a victory over Scotland before dismissing England. They're firmly on top of Group C and will book their spot to the Super 8 on Sunday if they beat Nepal.
Yeah, Nepal has got some experience across World Cups now. They were in the last World Cup in 2024 in the Caribbean. So I think Rohit Paudel at age 25, lovely young man, lovely captain. He leads them well. He's a good young batter as well. Very good head on his shoulders. So
Bishop says Nepal will be mindful that they defeated West Indies 2-1 prior to the T20 World Cup.
So they're a functional team, but what I love most about them, Dipinder Singh Ivory is another one. Good off-spinner, hits the ball well, but he leads with his fielding. It is unbelievable. There was the second game, I think, against the West Indies in that series in Sharjah. I don't think I can remember seeing a team field as electrifying. My jaw nearly fell off.
Ian Bishop. Finally, in your morning sports, Arnott Gardens and Dumbeholden played out a 1-1 draw in their rescheduled Ray Nephi Jamaica Premier League encounter at the Dumbeholden field on Thursday. Shadika Wizard gave Arnott Gardens the lead on 25 minutes, but Atafroy Bygrave scored for the hosts 5 minutes after the break. The draw enabled Arnott to inch ahead of Waterhouse into fifth on goal difference, both on 30 points, while Dumbeholden remained 10th on 26 points. And that's it for your morning sports.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to help us grow our business and build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take take the next step, send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
In business this morning, Flow has officially been recognized as the fastest mobile network in Jamaica by Ookla. Ookla is the global leader in connectivity intelligence. In a statement on Thursday, Flow said the recognition marks another major milestone for the company. Flow says, following Hurricane Melissa's impact on Jamaica, it has significantly accelerated investment in its mobile network to deliver a stronger, more innovative and more reliable experience for customers across the island. Vice President and General Manager of Flow, Stephen Price, says the recognition by Ookla validates the work its teams have been doing behind the scenes for months. Price has also pledged a rapid expansion of Flow's coverage in 2026. This with dozens of additional mobile sites planned and acquisition of additional mobile spectrum that will expand its network capacity to deliver enhanced service at even faster speeds in more areas. Now, shares in trucking and logistics companies have plunged as the sector became the latest to be targeted by investors fearful that new artificial intelligence tools could slash demand. A new tool launched by Algorithm Holdings sparked a sell-off on Thursday that made the logistics industry the latest victim of AI jitters that have already rocked listed companies operating in the software and real estate sectors. Algorithm Holdings is a former maker of in-car karaoke systems. Algorithm has been turned into an AI company with a market capitalization of just $6 million. The announcement about the performance capability of the company's semi-cab platform, which it claimed was helping customers scale freight volumes by 300 to 400% without having to increase headcount, sparked an almost 30% surge in the company's share price on Thursday. However, the impact of the announcement sent the Russell 3000 trucking index, which tracks shares in the U.S. trucking sector, down 6.6% on Thursday. Shares in American transportation company C.H. Robinson Worldwide plunged 15% by the close of trading, having been down as much as 24%. And in foreign exchange trading, the Jamaican dollar has gained 9 cents and will open trading against the benchmark US dollar, selling for an average $156.92. Against the Canadian, the Jamaican has lost 2 cents and will open selling for an average $115.35. And finally, the Jamaican dollar has gained 41 cents and will begin trading for an average $213.70 against the British pound. That's it for business this morning.
Register your property or update an existing title through the Land Administration and Management Division. The time by the National Land Agency is
6:32.
Upgrade your home or business with Cameron Industries and Joinery Limited. Explore a range of termite-resistant plywood, quartz, solid surface, and granite. Experience timeless elegance with our cedar doors, crafted from premium cedar stock, kiln-dried for durability and beauty. For quality and craftsmanship, visit us at the Trade Center Kingston 10 or Hatfield Mandeville. Call 876-963-0628-30. Cameron Industries and Joinery Limited. Transform your space today.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Your have stood with us through every headline and every difficult moment. The Family Club is how we keep this going strong. Together, join the nationwide 90 FM Family Club now on Patreon.
Cry, baby. I will be there when you need someone to tell you that you're beautiful, baby. I will be there when you need someone to run away. I will be there when you need someone to dance with. I'm your lover till the skies turn gray, girl. Oh, you're beautiful, baby. You're in my mind, yeah. I'm thinking about you. Girl, I miss you. Baby, ever since that day you went away, yes, I can't live without you. You're always on my mind.
Good morning. It is 6:39. It's Friday the 13th, such an auspicious date, but it is still a good day. Thank God it's Friday. I hope all is well for those listening in to Nationwide this morning. I see people, Jacqueline Peters say, pull up, Lyndon Hunter, blessings, family. Chevron, a pleasant morning to you coming from... I can't say that name. It's an SHOU. I can't read that name quite. But it's a good morning to you all. Albert Morgan, Wilbert Davis, good to see you all this morning. I trust everyone is doing well. We had the big news coming out of the Parliament yesterday, the estimates of expenditure, $1.4 trillion to be spent or planned to be spent in the upcoming fiscal year by the government. A good portion of that going towards the continued reconstruction and recovery from Hurricane Melissa. And that, listeners, is where I'd like to go this morning now that we have the figures in. But what I note of interest is, for the first time in, I think, 10 years to be exact, the interest is not so much on the line items of the budget, but rather the new tax measures outlined by the Holness administration as a means to plug some of those gaps created by Hurricane Melissa. I think it's about, in this fiscal year, that's an additional $29 billion to be added on in the next fiscal year. About $15 billion in terms of the necessities for government tax revenues. And I have an assessment of some of those measures, just something I quickly put together as in my own understanding of it. And the first one, I think, is the trickiest one, because I think a lot of Jamaicans not quite sure what to make of this one, and that's the proposed extension of GCT to what the government has defined as digital services and intangibles. We just have to wait to see what this specifically means. I hope that the finance minister, either during the budget debates or even before, can provide some clarity as to what is strictly defined as a digital service and how the government intends to collect this tax. I, like many Jamaicans in the modern age, use numerous digital services, and I'm rather curious as to what the government's approach will be. So for this one, I am simply going to say, to be decided. The next matter is that of the special consumption tax on sweetened beverages. This one requires some deep analysis. I mean, firstly, it's one of the measures intended to bring in the most revenue for the government. That's about $10 billion in additional revenue. Secondly, it's one that may have the widest societal impact, not only in terms of whom it impacts, but its potential to modify behavior. The two issues are very closely intertwined. If the measure was truly meant as a modifier to behavior, then the government could not realistically expect to collect the over $10 billion in additional revenue the line item is projected to generate. The SET is also applied either at point of entry in the country or directly borne by the manufacturer here if it's a local good. Inevitably, this cost will likely be passed on to consumers, but it's further unlikely that the impact on price will truly make any adjustments in terms of consumption patterns. What's of even more interest to me is to what extent does the average Jamaican pay attention to what's considered a sweetened beverage. For example, if you look at the back of a True Juice box, you will see that there is a sugary component, though if you don't pay much attention, you'll think, oh, this is just natural juice. So I think a lot of Jamaicans are going to have to now pay attention to what they're actually consuming to say, oh, am I paying additional for this because it's sweetened, etc., etc. So my assessment for this measure is a simple one. Just drink water. I don't think it really gets more complicated than that. I think at this point, water is still cheaper than most sweetened beverages anyway, so just drink water. And next is the further expansion of sin taxes tied to alcohol and cigarette consumption. And I think for the most part, this one doesn't really require that much analysis. I think many Jamaicans accept that neither of these habits can be considered essential, nor can the government expect any true adjustment in their consumption through additional taxation. So I think this one is just neither here nor there. It's almost an easy call by the government to say, let's just simply increase the taxes on cigarette and alcohol. I know the Ray and Nephews and the other manufacturers of these goods tend to be concerned about that because there is the issue of raising the taxes on the legitimate sources of these things, such as I said, the manufacturers, and then you have the illicit trade that goes essentially under the radar, where you can get things like the alcohol and the cigarette far cheaper when they simply do not have to pay the taxes on them. So I hope the government, in pursuing this measure, remembers that we still do have local manufacturers of these goods that do require some level of protection, and that they crack down on the illicit trade of cigarettes and alcohol. Well, the next one on the line item, modification of the 20% duty concession on motor vehicles for public officials. I'm not going to say too much on this, just to say, just like every other Jamaican, the public sector must make the sacrifice as well. We're going through a difficult time, and it cannot be borne by just the average Jamaican. It has to be borne by everyone across every sector, and I think this is just a good idea on the whole. The duty concession is not going away, despite I think even the IMF suggesting that it should, but it's not going away, but it should be modified in a way so that even the public sector must see that they have to make the sacrifices as well. The environmental protection levy rate being increased to 0.8% from 0.5%. This one is intended to bring in some decent amount of revenue, about $6 billion over the next 2 financial years. But I think we need to bring in an expert, probably somebody from JET, to really analyze this as to what impact this could have on the overall environment and the practices in terms of ensuring that that is not degraded. But next of interest, the increase in general consumption tax on tourism activities. Now it moves from the 10% concessionary rate to the 15% GCT rate. What should be noted though, listeners, because I did raise a concern yesterday that this could impact the recovery of tourism, but further and proper analysis suggests it shouldn't, because this does not apply to the next financial year. This applies to the financial year further down. So one would anticipate and expect that, well, we might still be going through a few niggles come 2027, 2028. The tourism industry itself should be back on strong footing come that financial year and should be better able to absorb that additional 5% GCT rate. Could it impact the arrivals to the island because things are more expensive? In my historical analysis, I understand that this same concern was raised when the tax was added to each individual ticket for stopover arrivals, that it could harm the tourism product, that it could discourage individuals coming to Jamaica by making our price a little bit more expensive. But that fear to this date has not been borne out, so I cannot imagine that a slight 5% point increase in the GCT rate will have any devastating impact on the industry. Will it have an impact? Well, only time will tell. And the last major revenue measure, which is one I think most Jamaicans at this point have grown accustomed to, is the continued $11.4 billion drawdown from the National Housing Trust to the central government. I understand that the opposition spokesperson on housing, that is Floyd Morris, has raised some issue, considering that the PNP has been on the bandwagon to suggest that no, this drawdown must end and the NHT must be returned to its original mandate. But when it comes to matters of tapping revenue sources, what I have found is that once you open that Pandora's box, it's hard to close it. And I point to two things in just the recent parliamentary sessions, and that is this matter of the NHT drawdown and the asset tax. To Jamaicans who are not au fait, both of these measures happened under the PNP's administration. Both of these measures considered temporary in order to respond to the concerns of the economic fallout of the 2008-2012 era. And as you can imagine, both of these measures continue to this day because the country still not quite out of the woods in terms of its fiscal support. And as a result, the government has essentially programmed in these measures, and it is going to be very difficult to wean the economy and to wean the budget off of these measures. And I think there has to be that understanding. But at the very least, we know that the government has given the commitment that the asset tax will be abolished once they believe the fiscal space is there. And for the NHT drawdown, we now have a definitive date of its end, and that has been set to 2031. So both these measures will come to an end, but it does raise the concern, and I think many people should understand this. When somebody tells you that a tax measure is going to be temporary, you really should question that, because there is very little likelihood that any measure once put in place is going to be that easily withdrawn unless the country finds itself in a major largesse in terms of growth or finds alternative revenues to make up that fallout. So whenever someone tells you, oh, this tax is going to be temporary, it's going to go away eventually, question that sentiment. Question it very much so. And just finally, listeners, the matter of the public sector wage bill. It's not in the line item of the budget, but it has to be brought up and it has to be discussed. It needs to be capped. We're going through a difficult time. And as I said earlier, everybody has to pay their way forward now. And it cannot be a case where we expect the government to borrow billions and billions of dollars for our grandsons and our granddaughters and their grandsons and granddaughters to pay it off, as we've done in the past. That has to be a sentiment of the past as well. Going forward, we have to pay our way. And in order to pay our way, the public sector has to pay its way as well. The public sector at this point consumes over 60% of government revenue. That's 60% of every tax dollar that the government earns. It goes directly to the public sector and paying their wages. At some point, without the added productivity that we keep touting, without the growth numbers that would be needed to support that kind of increasing cost, it needs to be capped at some point. So that is where I'm going to leave it today, listeners.
It's This Morning on Nationwide 90 FM. The time is...
It's 6:52.
JPS and Partners Cooperative Credit Union offers financial solutions for every stage in your life. Savings, auto loans, mortgages, and more. The Temperature by JPS and Partners Cooperative Credit Union, your financial partner for life, is...
It's a chilly 24 degrees Celsius here in the capital city, Kingston. It's also 24 out west in Montego Bay, and it's freezing in Mandeville at 17 degrees Celsius.
One good thing about music, when it hits you,
Do you have the Reggae Jamaica mobile app on your phone? No? Well, you could be missing out on news, views, interviews, events, and so much more about the impact of reggae music across the globe. Information at your fingertips about Reggae Month and other exciting reggae events. That's the Reggae Jamaica mobile app, now available in the Apple or the Google Play Store. Get it now.
I didn't hear you leave. I wonder how am I still here?
This show is your escape, your vibe, your reset.
But I will go down with this ship.
If Urban Paradise ever brings you peace, joy, or a little relief,
surrender.
Come closer.
What you won't do.
Join the Nationwide 90 FM Family Club today on Patreon.
You tried everything, but you don't give up.
Time now for Street Smarts 1 with Ludlow McLean. Good morning, Ludlow.
Quickly. Good morning, Jordan, to all the listeners. And there's a quick update there. And just to tell you, if you're on the eastern side, if you're coming in from Paul Bogle Highway, it's pretty good movement, except for the roundabout at Harborview. It's going to be a little bit up there. But as you get onto the Flosser Gospel Highway, the movement westbound and also eastbound is quite okay, except that be careful when you're speeding because the road service is not smooth heading towards Michael Manley Boulevard. They have done some work on Michael Manley Boulevard, so it's going to be a smooth sailing right all the way out. Windward Road on the other side, much more busier as you make your way going up Lucas Road, Hilding Avenue to get back onto Mountain View and Mountain View Avenue going up. So for the time being, the movement is good in these areas, but remember there are other areas where the traffic is building much more. So we'll talk again come 7:20. It's back to you, George.
Thank you, Ludlow. Ludlow there with Street Smarts 1. Up next, Word of the Day.
And your word of the day, listeners, today, very interesting one. It's Loblolly. That's Loblolly.
Loblolly. Loblolly. Loblolly.
That's right. Listen, it's loblolly. It's a noun. It has two meanings. It's the South Midland and Southern U.S. a mire mudhole or a thick gruel. So it's either a mire, a mudhole, or a thick gruel. It was first introduced into the lexicon in the 1590s, and it is a combination of the word lob, to bubble while boiling, and a second element as a lobscouse is obscure. So an example sentence is the timber production shifted to the uniform loblolly pine plantations of Georgia, Alabama, and the Carolinas. So your word for the day, listeners, is loblolly. That's Loblolly.
Sex is a staple subject of news, entertainment, and advertising. It's often hard to avoid this ever-present topic. But when parents and teenagers need to talk, it's not always that easy. If you wait for the perfect moment, you might miss the best opportunities. Instead, think of sex education as an ongoing conversation. In Parenting Tips today, sex education with your teenager. Here are some ideas to help you get started and keep the conversation going. Why should I talk to my kids about sex? The question should be, why shouldn't you? Breaking the ice. Here are some ideas to help you get started. Seize the moment. When a TV program or music video or song raises issues about responsible sexual behavior, use it as a springboard for discussion. Be honest. If you're uncomfortable, say so, but explain that it's important to keep talking. If you don't know how to answer your teen's question, offer to find the answers or look them up together. Be direct. Clearly state your feelings about sexual intercourse. Present the risks objectively, including sexually transmitted infections and unplanned pregnancy. Move beyond the facts. Examine questions of ethics and responsibility in the context of your personal or religious beliefs, and invite more discussion. Let your teen know that it's okay to talk with you about sex whenever he or she has questions or concerns. With your support, your teen can emerge into a sexually responsible adult. If your teen doesn't seem interested in what you have to say about sex, say it anyway. He or she is probably listening. That's it for Parenting Tips today.
Fearless and fair. Nationwide 90 FM.
Formal and informal channels are created intentionally by management to achieve the organization's goals. This is Lifestyle Pages on formal and informal communication channels. Advantages of formal communication are more effective when an organization is consistently going and achieving its goals, which builds bridges in communication, prevents bogging down of formal lines. Our channels of communication are well defined and clearly communicated to all employees at all levels. It prevents top management from being bogged down with too much trivia and idle gossip. Managers know what top management or the owner, such as an entrepreneur, needs to hear and know. Formal channels are designed to meet specific needs, helping to monitor the company's activities and ensure that problems are resolved. Formal channels of communication create a good atmosphere that reflects professionalism. Formal lines of communication help to consolidate and strengthen the organization and keep management personnel in control. I'm Valerie, and those were Lifestyle Pages.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting. You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
7 o'clock.
One nation, one purpose. To rebuild stronger than before. Build it to last with tools and equipment from National Supply. The temperature by National Supply is
24 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 24 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 17 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
The most credible news in the morning. The news at 7 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Coming up in the news at 7 this morning, Friday the 13th of February 2026, small businesses breathe a sigh of relief as they appear to have escaped the brunt of $35 billion tax package announced by the government. Meanwhile, analysts say they are keen to see how the government will collect GCT imposed on so-called digital services. Person of interest in murder of soldier turns himself in to the police. And in international news, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is set to make a major speech at Munich Security Conference.
News at 7 is brought to you by Hanes Underwear. Cool, comfortable clothing all day long.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. Former president of the Micro, Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises Alliance, MSME, Donovan Wignall, says he's relieved small businesses appeared to have been spared the effect of the raft of new taxes set to be imposed at the start of the new fiscal year. He was reacting to the $35 billion tax package that forms part of the $1.4 trillion estimates of expenditure for the 2026-27 fiscal year tabled in the Parliament on Thursday.
I breathed a sigh of relief when I heard that the usual taxes weren't touched. The GCTs, SCT and fuel, those taxes not touched. Income tax. I expected that she would have taxed cigarettes, sweet beverages, those taxes that are really lifestyle. For small businesses, the impact on small businesses, I'm not seeing any significant impact to the operation of small businesses. What I am looking forward to is to how the minister, through policies, are going to make the lives of small businesses easier.
Among the proposals are the application of general consumption tax to digital services and intangible goods, as well as a special consumption tax on non-alcoholic sweetened beverages. Additional increases have been proposed for alcoholic beverages and cigarettes. The measures also include an increase in the environmental levy, higher GCT on specified tourism-related products, and a possible rise in property taxes. The government says the measures come as it prepares to meet reconstruction costs linked to damage caused by Hurricane Melissa. Wignall is hoping the government will introduce a moratorium for small and micro businesses as the measures take effect.
I know we got 6 billion odd from multilaterals. If we could get a moratorium on the payment of that, seeing that we're in strenuous times now, if we could probably get a 2 or 3 year moratorium until this particular crisis is over. Hopefully we don't have another one. A moratorium on the payments, giving us some more fiscal space to have some money. And I think the relaxation of the fiscal rules also does, at this point in time, give the minister some additional wiggle room to maneuver out of the spending that is going to be needed for Hurricane Melissa.
Donovan Wignall, former president of the MSME Alliance, he was speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Thursday. Meanwhile, tax expert and the managing director of A. Peart Advisory Services, Alison Peart, says the proposed GCT on digital services appear to be targeting applications that are operating in Jamaica outside of a brick-and-mortar structure and which have no tax obligation to the government.
If you imported services from overseas, you who consumed it were supposed to report it to the tax authorities and pay that reverse GCT. I'm not sure people realize that. So what this is doing is trying to clarify that whether you're a registered taxpayer or not, if you consume certain digital services, you will have to pay it. When you come with the Netflix, etc., it depends on how they define the act. But based on what I'm seeing, this is more targeted to Airbnbs, the Ubers, and it appears to be that. Now, Netflix could get caught depending on how the app works. Until we see that law, they could do it.
Alison Peart, managing director of A. Peart Advisory Services, and economist Keenan Faulkner says he's interested to see just how the government will impose GCT on digital services.
If you're talking about digital services, does that mean, for example, Airbnb or Uber, or would it be other items like Spotify, Amazon, and things like that? My mind intuitively is telling me it is the former rather than the latter, so that might make it a little more easy to collect than to say, you're levying a tax on something like digital streaming services. How do you begin to think about collecting taxes on those as opposed to something physical like Airbnb and Uber?
Keenan Faulkner, economist. Both Keenan and Alison were speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Thursday. Meanwhile, CARICOM tax leader and a partner at PricewaterhouseCoopers Jamaica, Brian Denning, says he's not surprised by so-called sin taxes announced on Thursday by the Finance Minister, Favour Williams.
The sin taxes on alcohol and cigarettes, that's not unexpected because that tax was last set in Jamaican dollars at a specific rate in 2017. So even just recalibrating this to current price is not surprising. There is a lot of concern about the sweetened beverages and its impact on the health of the society. So it's not maybe that surprising that there was a proposal to put GCT on sweetened beverages, a special consumption tax on sweetened beverages.
One of the proposed new tax measures is the application of GCT to vehicles imported by public sector workers.
The exemption for SCT and the customs duty 20% rate, I understand, will continue. But the difference is that GCT will be chargeable. So this would be, I would say, a withdrawal. Maybe it's a testing of the waters. But ultimately, as public sector salaries are realigned to market rates, I think some of these traditional concessions that were offered maybe as a quid pro quo for showing that wage restraint in agreements, we would maybe see a further removal of them.
Brian Denning, CARICOM tax leader and a partner at PricewaterhouseCoopers Jamaica, he was speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Thursday evening. The prosecution on Thursday called its fourth witness in the Klansman gang trial. The witness, a forensic crime scene investigator, testified about processing a 2017 murder scene in Spanish Town, St. Catherine. 25 accused, including alleged gang leader Tesha Miller, are before the court charged under the anti-gang legislation. The prosecution's case is built around 16 separate criminal acts allegedly committed between August 2017 and November 2022. Robian Williams reports.
Day 6 of the Klansman gang trial continued with the Crown calling a detective corporal attached to the police's scenes of crime unit. The detective testified that on September 16, 2017, at about 10:30 p.m., he was instructed by his supervisor to attend and process a crime scene. He said he gathered his equipment and proceeded to Roger Avenue in the Fairview Park area of the Eltham Park community in Spanish Town, accompanied by a female constable. At the scene, the witness said he observed spent shell casings near a motor vehicle, what appeared to be a pool of blood in front of the vehicle, and what appeared to be bullet holes in the windscreen and the left pivot glass. The witness said he photographed the scene and each item of evidence individually, dusted the exterior of the vehicle for fingerprints, and recovered a fingerprint from the left rear passenger glass. He further testified that he prepared a rough sketch of the scene, took measurements, and collected all items of evidence, placing each in separate envelopes, which he kept in his possession. In court, several photographs taken by the witness were shown, including images of the roadway where crime scene tape had been erected, the motorcar parked on Roger Avenue, numerical crime scene markers, a pair of brown slippers, spent shell casings, and the pool of blood previously referenced. Also shown were images of a police report, a GPS reading identifying the location of the crime scene, the pivot glass of the motor vehicle bearing a fingerprint, and a photograph of the body bag the deceased was in. The witness told the court that the fingerprint recovered was taken to the Automated Fingerprint Identification System Department, where he was later informed that there was no hit. The detective testified that he and his team later went to the Spanish Town Hospital Accident and Emergency Department, where he observed the body of a deceased male lying in a wheelchair, already pronounced dead. He described the deceased as being of dark complexion, wearing a gray t-shirt and blue jeans, and having Rastafarian hairstyle. He said he observed what appeared to be bullet holes in the upper chest area. The witness said he photographed the body, after which it was tagged by a morgue attendant and placed in a white body bag and secured. He told the court that the images from his camera were later downloaded to a computer and placed onto a CD. The CD was admitted into evidence. The detective further testified that on Friday, September 22, 2017, he retrieved the collected evidence and transported it to the forensic laboratory, where it was handed over to a forensic analyst. This evidence relates to the murder of George Richards, which forms part of the 32-count indictment before the court. Defendants Dwayne Frater and Lamar Rowe are charged with the murder. The trial continues on Friday morning at 10. Robian Williams for Nationwide News.
One of the persons of interest in the murder of a member of the Jamaica Defense Force, JDF, has surrendered to the police. The man, known only as Diddy, reported to the police in the company of his brother on Wednesday. He was being sought in connection with the murder of 24-year-old Private Daniel Dale Crawford. Private Crawford was shot and killed by gunmen in an area of Waltham Park Road in St. Andrew on Tuesday. The police also listed a woman known only as Kim as a person of interest in the killing. She remains at large. According to the police, Diddy is being interviewed by detectives at the Major Investigations Division, MID. It's reported that on Tuesday night, Private Crawford and a police constable were traveling together when he received a phone call. Private Crawford then indicated to the policeman that he would be making a drop-off to a female friend along Waltham Park Road. Private Crawford drove to Stephen Lane, where he exited the vehicle, leaving the policeman inside. It's reported that Private Crawford was shot while at the location, and the policeman was chased and shot at by gunmen. The constable escaped and alerted the police. Private Crawford was pronounced dead at hospital. The Manchester Police have identified individuals who they believe can assist with their probe into the murder of a 4-year-old girl in Land Settlement on Sunday. Commanding officer for the division, Superintendent Kerry Duncan, was speaking at Thursday's monthly meeting of the Manchester Municipal Corporation.
We have identified some persons whom we believe can help us. I don't want to call their name at this point, but we have identified some persons. It is my belief, based on our intelligence, our investigation, that this child was not the target of this attack at all. I'll implore persons to find amicable way of resolving their issues other than violence. We recognize that this child was a victim of the circumstances. So I want to appeal to the persons who are so involved, to appeal to your conscience, to say that we made a mistake. So feel free to come into us.
The child is identified as Sonoya O'Brien, otherwise called Summer. It's reported that Sonoya and her father were in a motor vehicle when it was fired on by gunmen in an area known as Steel Tank. They were taken to hospital where the child was pronounced dead on arrival. Her father was admitted for treatment in serious condition. Superintendent Duncan says the police will not relent in their efforts to find those responsible for the brutal attack.
We are saying that we have the information, we have the intelligence, and we certainly will be leaving no stones unturned. We certainly will be pulling out all the stops to ensure that this little girl and her family receive the kind of justice that we believe that they should. This is a very unfortunate situation, one that should not happen in Jamaica, particularly in Manchester at this time.
Superintendent Kerry Duncan, commanding officer for the Manchester Police. The St. Mary Police say they are following strong leads in the investigation of 2 murders which occurred in the parish on Monday. Commanding officer for the parish, Superintendent Anthony Wallace, says arrests will be made soon. On Monday, sometime after 4 a.m., a 59-year-old businessman, Garfield Singh, was ambushed at his home and fatally shot by unknown assailants in Boscobel. In another incident, a few hours later, 32-year-old Kemoy Findlay of Stockholm Park, Highgate, was also shot and killed by unknown assailants. Superintendent Wallace describes the murders as an anomaly and sought to reassure residents that the parish remains safe. In the meantime, Superintendent Wallace also highlighted reductions in violence across St. Mary. He says the parish is seeing a 25% reduction in murders and a 50% reduction in shootings. He noted that the division has been carrying out organized operations with over 20 conducted weekly. He says focus is being placed on all the main players in criminal activities across the division. A man linked to the 100 Rounds gang in Hanover was shot and killed during an alleged confrontation with the police on Thursday. He has been identified as Sudane Downer, otherwise called Bikeman, of a Hanover address. The incident occurred in Old Folly, Discover Bay, St. Anne, during a targeted police operation. Commanding officer for the St. Anne Police, Senior Superintendent Carlos Russell, confirmed the fatal shooting.
During the operation, there was a confrontation and Mr. Downer was injured. He was rushed to the St. Anne's Bay Hospital, where he has since been pronounced dead. 1 firearm has been recovered. The investigation in that is ongoing, and INDICOM and other relevant authorities have been informed. Mr. Downer is originally from the Hanover Division. He was charged for murder and other offenses and is reporting on condition of bail in the Discovery Bay space.
Nationwide news sources in Hanover say Downer was one of the main hitmen in one of the parish's most violent criminal gangs and was implicated in several shootings. At the time of his death, Downer was reportedly on bail for murder and was required to report to the police in St. Anne. His criminal history includes 2 charges of wounding with intent from 2018. He also has a murder charge from December 2021 in connection with the killing of Evan Wallace. Sources also claim that while in custody for that matter, he orchestrated the 2022 killing of Wallace's brother, Franklin Wallace. Meanwhile, SSP Russell says the St. Anne Police Division has recorded an overall reduction in serious crime.
There are 4 murders compared to 5 last year. We are continuing to do our works targeting criminal suspects as also wanted persons, and we believe that for this year we can achieve our target of less than 36 murders. As it relates to clear up, we have seen a high success rate. Of the 4 murders that have been committed so far, 3 are cleared, and we are working assiduously to clear the others. I would want to say to the criminals to leave criminal activities alone, first and foremost. Also, when our officers come to your location, we're asking that you obey the instructions of the officers, and we're asking not to confront our members, because if you do, then police will have to respond.
Carlos Russell, he is the commanding officer for the St. Anne Police. International news now. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has spoken of a defining moment and a new era as he travels to Europe for a major speech to the Munich Security Conference. The BBC is reporting that Rubio will lead the U.S. delegation at the first major global event since Donald Trump threatened Danish sovereignty with a pledge to annex Greenland. French President Emmanuel Macron has insisted Europe must prepare for independence from the U.S., while NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte has stressed that transatlantic bonds are as close and important as ever. The war in Ukraine, tensions with China, and a potential nuclear deal between Iran and the U.S. are also on the agenda as the Security Conference gets underway. At last year's conference, U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance attacked Europe, including the UK, for policies on free speech and immigration. His speech triggered a year of unprecedented transatlantic tension. About 50 world leaders are set to attend the conference, which will discuss European defense and the future of the transatlantic relationship at a time when U.S. commitments to NATO have been called into question. That's the news.
News at 7 was brought to you by Hanes Underwear. Cool, comfortable clothing all day long.
Sign up for the JN Money Card. It's safe, convenient, and free. The time by JN Money is
7:18.
Super Center, everything for your home and more.
Bring back the fun of shopping. Discover the best finds in every aisle of amazing items. For your kitchen, your living room, your bedroom, or any room, Azan Super Center has that perfect touch to elevate your space to the next level. Our team is ready to help you find what you are looking for you or someone else. So stop by our Crossroads store today and rediscover the fun of shopping.
Azan Super Center, it's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
Unlock winnings, unlock value, unlock postpaid with Digicel. Sign up for your postpaid plan now, win $1 million. When you sign up and unlock postpaid with Digicel, you can win up to $1 million and more. Just sign up or switch to postpaid, upgrade or activate an add-on in the My Digicel app. Pay your bill in full on time and you can win an iPhone 17 Pro Max every week. A bill write-off up to 10 grand, a grand prize of $1 million. Unlock winnings with Digicel. Better connected.
Authorized under Section 58 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Conditions apply. Promotion valid from February 6th to April 4th.
Every voice matters here, and yours has always mattered to us. The Family Club is your front row seat to be part of the conversation officially. Join the nationwide 90 FM Family Club today on Patreon.
Time now for Street Smarts 2 with Ludlow McLean. Good morning, Ludlow.
Morning, George. And again, the listeners, motoring public or visitors, welcome, and those who are leaving, hope you had a great time. And all our transport operators and stakeholders, morning time. It's bright and sunny now. And just remember, if you're going up Mountain View Avenue northbound, it's pretty good movement from the Windward Road side going all the way up. And I did mention Fort Crescent and all these areas, Norman Avenue, Norman Road, all these areas are quite okay. But going further up, it's pretty good, all the way up to the top to Arthur Wint. Arthur Wint a bit busy moving in, especially going out towards, what's the name? It used to be Roosevelt Avenue. It's now McKinley Drive, right? Hope Road, Stanton Terrace, Ulip Road, Stanton Terrace, all these areas are enjoying good movement. There are vehicular traffic, but it's moving, especially from the Ligon area coming down. Going across to CD Avenue, it's pretty good also. And Lady Musgrave Road, a bit busy, but it's okay. Trafalgar Road has some traffic in both directions, but no serious delays at the moment. The bulk of the traffic really is from the Waterloo end coming towards Trafalgar. And if you're on the Constance Spring Road leg, heading into Apatry, lots of traffic in those areas. So it's going to be a busy morning, but I can tell you by midday, traffic, and then further down in the evening, you can expect lots of traffic. It's a Friday, so this is what we expect. So have yourselves a great weekend. And as usual, at Street Smart, your safety is all concerned. Over to you, George.
Thank you, Ludlow. Ludlow there with Street Smarts 2, the final one for the week. Up next, front page. Front Page is brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business. For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business. .23 on the clock. You're with the front page here on Nationwide 90 FM. I am George.
And I'm Siobhan Campbell.
It's a $1.4 trillion budget, you know this by now, with more than $35 billion in new taxes. The Finance Minister, Favour Williams, tabled the estimates of expenditure in the House of Representatives on Thursday and outlined a raft of new tax measures. This as the government prepares to respond to the reconstruction needs from Hurricane Melissa. It's the first time a Finance Minister also tabled new tax measures alongside the budget. Siobhan Camp tells us more.
As Jamaicans continue to recover from the devastation caused by Hurricane Melissa, the government has presented its budget and priorities shaped by the new realities caused by the Category 5 system. The government intends to spend just over $1.4 trillion in the upcoming fiscal year. With inflation of 4.5% factored in, the budget stands at $1.37 billion in real terms. That's up from the $1.2 trillion initially proposed at the start of the current fiscal year. On the recurrent side, the Holness administration plans to spend just over $1.3 trillion to fund its day-to-day activities. The Ministry of Finance, as is normal, has received the lion's share of the proposed expenditure at $567 billion. Of that sum, $378 billion has been set aside to cover the country's debt for the next financial year. This is followed by the Ministry of Education, which is expected to spend nearly $200 billion in the coming financial year. This is actually down from the $211 billion estimated to be spent this year. The Ministry of Health is estimated to spend $187 billion, and that's down from $193 billion. Of particular note, the government intends to spend just shy of $100 billion on major projects through its capital expenditure. That's compared to the $62 billion spent in the current fiscal year. And for the first time, the government has tabled its tax measures alongside the budget. It follows Finance Minister Favour Williams' announcement on Wednesday evening that the administration will need to levy additional taxes in order to cover fall-offs in revenues caused by Hurricane Melissa. According to the measures tabled, the new taxes include the application of GCT to digital services and other non-tangible goods, and a special consumption tax on non-alcoholic sweetened beverages.
The SCT will be applied at a rate of 0.02, which is 2 cents per milliliter. The estimated revenue gain associated with levying the SCT on non-alcoholic sweetened beverages is estimated at $10.1 billion and will take effect during the first quarter of fiscal year 2026-2027.
Additional taxes on alcoholic beverages and cigarettes have also been proposed. An increase in the environmental levy and a GCT on specified tourism-related products are also among the measures presented. Minister Williams also announced a potential increase in property taxes could be coming.
Property taxes have remained at the same rate since fiscal year 2016-17. Property values have remained at the same value as they were then on the books of government. Our property taxes support our municipalities and the National Solid Waste Management Authority. The Prime Minister, to whom the National Land Agency reports, has approved the National Land Agency to begin a revaluation of the many parcels of land in Jamaica. This work will take about 12 months, and so that valuation will advise the new property tax rate for fiscal year 27-28.
The measures announced in the House total approximately $36 billion in additional taxes to the government. Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
Right, so we're joined by two ladies this morning, President of the MSME Alliance, Antoinette Hamilton, and President of the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association, Catherine Silvera, for their reaction. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. Good morning to you, listeners.
Thank you. Your predecessor, Antoinette, good morning again, Donovan Wignall, said to us on Thursday that based on his reading, small businesses were spared the brunt of this tax collection proposed by the government to take effect from the start of the new fiscal year on April 1. Do you agree with him?
To some extent, given the fact that some small businesses do produce beverages that will be affected by the GCT. So yes, but largely yes.
Mm-hmm. And based on the package of measures, the impact, impact or effect, the impact you think the package of measures will have in how your members do business, at least over the next fiscal year?
Well, generally, I support a consumption-type taxation. In this case, the general consumption tax. In my opinion, it's a better approach to tax collection than an income-based taxation. So generally, I support that because what it does, it gives consumers choice. If you don't consume the product that is taxed, you don't pay the tax. So I agree with that approach taken by the Finance Minister in terms of the tax type being used. What I would say, though, in agreeing with also the opposition spokesperson on finance, is that if we are really and truly promoting health in the country, then we should see also a budget being tabled to promote investment in healthy habits as well as healthy food production in agriculture, and so that we can increase the options on the supermarket shelves and in the schools. Additionally, we should, I'm expecting to see budget being put aside as well to increase accountability and reduce the cost of corruption in our country, because it really hurts when consumers, because inevitably it's the consumers that are going to pay the additional tax, because businesses are going to pass it on to the consumers. So it is really heartbreaking to see when we pay this additional tax and it is said to be mismanaged, it is said to be we're not getting value for money. So what it is that the government is going to put in place in terms of resources behind reducing the cost of corruption in the country, I think that is also something that should be.
Let me squeeze one more before the break at 7:30. So, Antoinette, the overall effect of the measures as you read them on the environment in which your members will be doing business in, you're not seeing any major obstacle in the environment by virtue of this package of tax measures?
I'm not seeing any major fallout. I'm sure Catherine won't say the same, but not for mine.
Is it you realize I'm leaving her for last because yeah. No major fallout. All right, let's take the break, and when we come back, we hear from Catherine Silveira, the president of the JMEA.
Jamaica live good, yeah. I make we enjoy life, but we feel safe at night. Jamaica live good.
Jamaica, stop the killing and give up the guns. Just live good now.
The time brought to you by the Ministry of National Security and Peace is
7:31.
The news cycle doesn't end on Friday. It needs perspective. That's why every Sunday at midday, Nationwide 90 FM presents The Week That Was. A clear, informed review of the top stories that shaped the past week, what really mattered and what lies ahead. No noise, no theatrics, just analysis, context, and clarity. The Week That Was. Sundays at 12 noon with a repeat at 6:30 p.m. Understand the news before the week begins. Only on Nationwide 90 FM, a new revolution in media.
Hey folks, thanks for your patience. We'll be taking off very shortly. You should be wheels up in about 40 minutes. And due to a bumpy ride, snacks and beverage service has been suspended. AC has given us some trouble, sorry folks. And Wi-Fi is out. And so is the entertainment. Yeah, I'm sorry about the smell, folks. We are aware.
I know.
There's one more quick note. We are going to have to deplane.
Come on!
We're like the plane ride that isn't a nightmare. CG United Insurance. Good like that.
Transjam Highways is having a 50% Valentine's Day discount on T-Tac packages. Get yours from the teller in the toll booth for only $1,250, including a $500 toll credit from February 9 to 2026. Got you quicker with a T-Tag every time on Transjam Highways.
The youth them have a voice here, and it matters. The Family Club helps us to keep giving young people the mic. If you believe in that, join the nationwide 90 FM Family Club today on Patreon.
Hey yo, me is a youth, no in a hurry. Me love me chick.
Welcome back, listeners, viewers, to Nationwide this morning, where we continue our analysis of the budget. We have with us the MSME Alliance President, that's Antoinette Hamilton, and President of the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association, Catherine Silvera. Catherine Silvera, the matter of the non-sweetened beverage, SCT, imagine considering that a good portion of our manufacturing in this country is tied up in beverages, and particularly sweetened beverages. Do you see this having a material impact on that industry?
Certainly. We are still canvassing our members, and we are gathering data from them. It was only announced late yesterday evening, so our members are having to put that through their costings to see what level of impact it is going to have. But certainly we do expect that it is going to have a significant impact, not only for domestic production, but for export.
But I think in this case, SCTs are supplied equally in terms of those goods coming in and those goods produced here. But I don't know how that works in terms of goods exiting the country. Can you explain?
Well, that is something that we still wait to get further knowledge on, because, for example, the SCT on alcohol is not charged on exported goods. However, our alcohol manufacturers have to invest in having a bonded warehouse of sorts, and customs personnel that are there that check off on a daily basis items that are produced for export. I don't know how that's going to be facilitated for the greater quantity of manufacturers that are producing sugary beverages, and how that SCT would be monitored if it is not going to be applied on export.
And in terms of the reaction and the measures to be taken by the industry itself, do you see this as an attempt to modify behavior, or do you see it as business as usual?
Well, I think that the government is utilizing that as a basis for implementing these taxes on these lifestyle items. The reality is that what are the programs that they're going to put into effect to educate consumers and not just collect the tax and cause consumers to spend more on these items. You know, a number of countries around the world have put on a sugar tax of some sort, and there hasn't been much data to say that person's consumption has actually gone down. And so it has to be a wholesome campaign. They're going to be collecting these taxes. Are they now putting that into educating consumers on a more frequent basis on how they're going to change their habits? Are they going to be putting it into, as Antoinette said, creating healthier options that are going to be more affordable for consumers to take on? Are they going to be putting programs in place? So I think there are still questions to be answered. I think, as Antoinette said, it is a consumer-driven tax, and you do, as a consumer, have a choice, but it's still certainly going to affect manufacturing unless they make changes to their formulations and things like that.
And before we bring back Antoinette, I would still have to ask you, the matter of the sin taxes, the ones on cigarette and alcohol, those are almost expectation in terms of when the government comes in terms of tax revenues. But there is still the question of the illicit market. Do you think enough is being done there?
No, I think more can be done, certainly, to protect our borders and to protect our manufacturers on the illicit trade.
Catherine, just before we hand it back to Antoinette, Catherine, the issue of the sugar tax, let's call it that, non-alcoholic sweetened beverages. William Mahfood makes a reasonable point, I think, because he has said, listen, Why is it that you're appearing to penalize those in the beverage manufacturer market when you're talking about sweet things that people consume because you want to influence lifestyle change, when those in the baking and confectionery business appear to have gotten off scot-free? Are you aggrieved by that as well at this preliminary stage, Catherine Silvera?
I would say that we represent both sectors, and so we want to make sure that things in life are fair. Taxes in life should be fairly shared among the population. I mean, I think I'm also of the view, I think you had Damon King on earlier this week, that said, where is the government on widening the tax bracket and making sure that all professionals and all income earners are paying a fair amount of tax? I think that mindset is similar when it comes to something like this. The SET on sugar beverages has been discussed for a number of years, and we've had consistent dialogue with government about it. Now it has come about. It may be expanded to other items in the future, but I think something like this with taxes needs to be fairer, and it is unfair right now that it is only on beverage manufacturers and not on other lifestyle items.
Yeah. The bulk of the sugar, tell me, the bulk of the sugar that is used by those in the manufacturing of beverages, is it imported or is it provided by the local market?
I would say the bulk is imported.
And do you pay a tax on that imported sugar?
I believe so. I believe that as manufacturers, we are able to access duty-free under the productive input relief. And I don't believe there is a tax on that sugar.
Because I'm thinking of the broader calculation and the formula, plugging the various things into it to find out what it is that the consumer will pay on the final end, considering this SCT and, of course, what it costs for the raw materials. Antoinette, the government says, listen, we all have to understand that these are not normal times. Yeah, it's an unprecedented challenge facing it, and so they have to be taking revenue from the areas that can best produce that revenue and produce it consistently over at least one budget cycle. And that's the spirit that the finance minister has come to us and asked us to accept these tax measures on. Are you taking her on that line of thinking, Antoinette? All right, I think the call may have dropped. We'll try to reconnect with Antoinette Hamilton. Let me put that to you then, Catherine Silvera, until Antoinette comes back. That Favour Williams has made that appeal to say, listen, we know that people, especially industry players, don't like the additional burden that we're placing on them, but understanding the context. And I've set out the context based on what she says. Are you aligning yourself with those sentiments broadly?
Well, I think the reality is that we all know that Jamaica experienced economic devastation with Hurricane Melissa, and so borrowing is not the only route that the government would have to go to get new revenues. I think what we want to see is that, as mentioned before, how are we broadening the tax base? You know, the formal manufacturing sector is very highly compliant. How are we making sure that all sectors are being compliant, that all income earners are paying income tax? And also, what is the government doing to help address expenditure and not just revenue? So earlier today on your program, you would have mentioned the public sector wage bill. That is a huge portion of our GDP. That is a huge portion of what consumes our revenue. Where is the government in streamlining measures to accommodate for a lowering of the public wage bill? Are we looking towards shared resources? Are we looking towards more, how do we increase productivity? And it's not that I want to say that public sector workers should not get an increase in their salary, yes, or that they should be, made redundant. I'm just saying that government also has to look at their expenditure, because sometimes it feels that the productive sector and our micro and small businesses are who have to change their behaviors or to reduce our expenses to try and not pass on a lot of these taxes to the consumers. Because at the end of the day, all of these taxes are going to be passed on to the consumer unless the business finds a way to absorb some of it, maybe be less profitable. But we're all here in business to be profitable. Yes. And it's the consumer that then is either not going to be able to afford to purchase as much or have to make their decisions on how they're tightening the belt. And as other economists have said, taxes doesn't necessarily spur growth. So you have these new taxes being implemented to create new revenues, but is it going to create the amount of revenue that they estimate when it makes things more expensive? So, for example, Ray and Ting, a white rum and Ting, has now been subject to an increase on SET on the alcohol for the white rum and an SET on the sugar for the Ting. So now a consumer that might have been paying $350 at a bar for a white rum and Ting, how much is it now going to cost that consumer? And I know it's a lifestyle, and I know it's alcohol that we're talking about, but still, if they normally drank 3 at the bar, how are they now going to drink 1?
But Catherine, that's an excellent point, because, you know, a typical Friday evening, a man comes off the construction site, Chevron, Catherine, Antoinette, and him got the bar, him order a special, which is little Appleton and a boom, or a little Appleton or the one in the blue bottle, or a little Appleton and a Ting, or a little white rum. And so that, the cost of that, as she's saying, on both sides, the only thing that there's no tax on is the ice. Yeah, that goes in it. No, it's a serious point. It's a very, very important point. As simple as that. I thank you for that example.
Antoinette, rolling that example further, because at the end of the day, when people come here for tourism, they come for the luxuriousness of it. They come to spend on things like alcohol and the excess, so to speak. Do you see that coupled with the GCT increase on the tourism trade itself having an impact on the material growth of the industry?
Well, the implementation date is 2027, I believe.
Yes.
I believe that would give
next fiscal year.
Next fiscal year, right. So I think that would give the industry enough time to plan. I also believe that, given that the industry was being subsidized before, it's just the government cutting back some of that now, because they would have been on a break for quite some time. And I do understand where Mr. Mafu is coming from, but I guess the government would have looked at the consumption pattern. It is more likely for someone to consume, say, 3 or 4 beverages in a day than 3 or 4, say, cocoa bread or
a bun.
Yeah. It is just the reality. And so it's, in terms of sugar consumption, it is easier for someone to gain more weight, in my opinion, from the consumption of beverage than bun, because of just the volume that they consume daily. And I experience it, so I can speak from a consumer point of view. I can understand where the government is coming from, where that is concerned. But I want to underscore that if it is really and truly that objective of health and not really a political strategy to say, okay, we're going to use the post-Melissa period now to bring in this taxation because it will be more palatable. I hope that the first approach is the correct approach in terms of just a greater health concern, and not the latter in terms of a political strategy, because we definitely have to invest in how we either reduce the consumption of sugary substance, or we increase the consumption of more healthy options. I want to also touch on the property tax, Ricardo. I am concerned about the property tax, and I guess the minister would provide more information as to how it will work, because I'm particularly concerned about those pensioners as well as the younger folks that will be purchasing home. When you think of a pensioner that their pension is fixed, what measures will the government be put in place to ensure that that sector is not badly affected by the increase in property tax due to the increase or the expected increase in valuation of land? Because we know land, similar to real estate, that is something that don't depreciate. So it is likely to increase, right? What measures or protection that we're going to be put in place for our elders and pensioners, so that, as we know, the government, through legal proceedings, can forfeit land for non-payment of property tax. So what protection, I would like to hear from the minister, what protection will be in place for the vulnerable in terms of ensuring that they don't lose their land?
I want to know which one of you.
Like
I want to know which one of you ladies can take this last one. The issue of the digital services and the GCT. We're still trying to triangulate, work out how and what services and the collection of same. Catherine, Antoinette, who wants to help us to clear the fog?
But I'm not quite both foggy. We're foggy, right? I'm not quite clear on the digital part of it, to be honest. So I guess I was speaking out of turn.
Yeah, Catherine, help me.
I think it certainly makes sense that the government would try to tax those elements, but I'm not certain how that's going to go about and which services. I mean, we've heard persons speak about Airbnb and Uber, or is it the Netflix and the Amazon or the Apple Music, or is it even so far the advertising that people spend on social media like Facebook and Instagram? I really don't know to what extent.
Lots of questions to be answered there by the minister. Yes.
Yeah. That needs clarity. All right, we won't pressure you on that. Thank you for your time this morning, Catherine. Thank you, Antoinette, and we'll talk again. All the best.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Good. We take the break. When we come back, we get a perspective on whether or not the administration is taking a political hit by virtue of what has been announced. It's early, so emotions will be raging now. In time, things will settle down, but what of the political fallout, if any, from the measures announced on Thursday? After the break, we'll hear that.
For all your scales and food processing equipment, call Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited at 876-968-9612-5. The time by Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited is...
It's 7:49.
Hawkeye expresses heartfelt sympathy to all Jamaicans impacted by Hurricane Melissa. As we recover together, we remain committed to securing what matters most. The temperature by Hawkeye is...
It's 23 degrees Celsius here in the capital city, Kingston, 24 out west in Montego Bay, and it's 18 in Mandeville.
Morning after morning, you've made Nationwide 90 FM part of your routine. So let's take this connection one step closer. Join the Nationwide 90 FM Family Club and be part of it officially on Patreon.
Family. Unlock winnings, unlock value, unlock postpaid with Digicel.
When you sign up, stay active, or upgrade, you could win up to $1 million and more.
Unlock winnings with Digicel.
Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Conditions apply. Promotion valid from February 6 to April 4.
From the biggest tracks to the biggest energy, Nationwide keeps it moving. If you love the vibes, come and lock in with us for real.
World boss, leave a prison could stop me.
Join the Nationwide 90 FM Family Club today on Patreon.
Practice. God me say you watch you off me practice.
Dr. Nadine Spence joins us now to tell us if she believes there's been any fallout overnight by virtue of what was announced where the tax package is concerned on Thursday. Good morning, Dr. Spence.
Good morning, George. How are you doing?
I'm good. Happy New Year. It's been a while.
It's been a while. Happy New Year to you.
There you go. So tell me now, you've been tracking the trends, looking at what people have been saying, the discussions, the point, counterpoint. Has there been any damage to the brand Wholeness JLP in the hours since the tax measures were tabled in Parliament?
I don't think so. I think people are perhaps hesitant, perhaps a little bit. Are wondering what the details of it, the real details of it and the implications, but I think people are perhaps a little bit hesitant to rule on it yet, but I suspect that in the coming days as it is elucidated a little bit more, we might hear different perspectives. I don't think that it's gonna be as damaging though. And that's what I think. I think it has been very measured in terms of what I hear it is likely to be. And I think even though people are cautious, people are thinking, okay, so some of the critical things haven't been touched. So there is an awareness that you can't jump into it too dramatically.
I'm sure, Dr. Spence, that there will be at least some level of heavy weather made about it by the opposition once we get closer to the actual debates in the House of Representatives. But based on the reaction both in social media and in general, do you see a certain level of maturity now being practiced in terms of our democracy, where we don't immediately just run out to condemn something without having a proper understanding?
Right, I see that. I think people are wary of the false narrative and the false information that has been out there so consistently and persistently over the last whole midterm. So, and I think there's a, when that does tend to happen, there is a clue and another clue of information that comes out that clarifies, that says where the misinformation is. So I think those who would typically spread an anti-wholeness, anti-JLP government message are a little bit more hesitant to do so because of the response.
Yeah.
And I think as well that because of this, Jamaicans are being more discerning. They're not taking their information from one news source.
Mm-hmm.
People are being temperate. People are waiting for the information. A lot of people will be listening to the details of the budget presentation from the minister. A lot of people will be waiting to listen to their trusted people to hear what they say about it. But now people are just kind of like, let's wait and see what this pans out to. But I think as well, people understand the moment that we're in.
Yeah.
You know?
I see someone in our chat, Hehe3078, saying, George, what nonsense. Where do you analyze a political fallout in a less than 24 hours? You see, this is antiquated thinking, because this is the kind of thinking motivated by when news was, you'd hear the
analog,
news,
essentially.
You'd hear the news, right, at 7 o'clock in the main TV newscast, or you read it in the paper. Everybody knew about the tax measures. The world knew about the tax measures in Jamaica hours before the 7 o'clock newsreader even started putting on their makeup. It went viral. Hundreds, millions of people knew, and millions of people immediately started talking, especially as Dr. Spence is saying. They didn't have to wait on someone to tell them. The document was being circulated so they could read for themselves. So the fact is, people started discussing an issue and forming opinions early. And as she's saying, some people appear to not want to commit whether good or bad, yet they wanted to hear more details. But the fact of its viral circulation, the fact of how many people would have been engaging, talking about this was trending in Jamaica yesterday. It means that the interest in it warrants a question and a discussion with people who know these things as to whether or not there has been a fallout. And 24 hours in a modern news cycle in 2026 is a hell of a long time. So you need to change this. You need to change the band on your thinking. That's 1980s thinking to say that something can't be, there can be no fallout in 24 hours. That's antediluvian, I would suggest. 3078. Anyway, Dr. Spence,
yes.
How much do you think the preemptive move that the finance minister took to signpost this, to issue a statement overnight to the Jamaican public, along with a voice note, for those who don't want to read, you can listen to this voice note, to prepare the ground, to make the ground fertile for what was to come on Thursday? How much do you think that has helped to balance the narrative and to give people cause to pause before condemning and criticizing?
I think when I heard it, I thought, okay, there's this thing called tone deafness. You can't say this is tone deaf. Because I think that even before the government and the Minister of Finance goes into the debate, I think they want to hear what is happening in the public so that they can coach. And that's what I thought. So that they can then decide how do we present this information when we debate it substantively. Because remember, this is the honest government that trumpets no new taxes in 10 years. This is huge. This is huge not only for them in respect of this is no taxes, but it's also huge for the Jamaican public who has been banking their support for the honest administration on that promise. So this is no small thing. This is a huge thing. So it has to be signposted. You have to give people time to digest. You have to help them to interpret it. You have to make allowances for the things that people might not necessarily be agreeable to, where their allowances to be made. So I think that what they've done is they've put out a feeler, and they're looking at how people are responding to it before definitely committing, I think, or if not that, then how to couch it. And I think what we heard yesterday in the interviews with the Prime Minister after, and from the Minister of Finance, is an awareness that we can't go trumpeting a certain narrative when people are looking at you kind of side-eye. Yeah? You have to justify what you've just done. You have to convince us that this is the only choice you have. And then people might say, we understand, but the jury's still out. We don't know yet what Jamaicans are how they're going to conclude about this.
And Dr. Spence, do you think there's a bit of political genius to it as well? Because when we now go into the budget debate proper, this essentially is going to be old news at that point in time, and it allows the Holness administration to avoid falling into the old problem of having to spoil the goodies of the budget with the, well, here are the revenue measures as well, Jamaica.
Yes, I think so. I think part of what this is a kind of let's put it out there so that people are not, so that when we do the budget presentation, the good things are not overshadowed by the tax measures. Because I think from the GG speech yesterday, a lot of people are concerned about the recovery. And if you're not in Kingston or you have connections outside of Kingston, it's the hurricane and the recovery that is most present in your mind. So I think people want to hear the details of what is to happen in parishes and what is to happen in communities that have been devastated. So from the GG's presentation, we've got the sense that a lot of things are likely to happen, but the subsequent presentation after by the Minister of Finance tells you that it is going to come at a financial cost to the taxpayer. And I think now we kind of know what it is and we're thinking it through. Is it too much to ask of us? Could we have expected any different given the nature of the hurricane? That kind of question is being had. Like I heard last night people saying, well, given what Melissa was, it's not unexpected. But I hear people also saying, but the government gets wholly some money from the insurance, or what them do with it. So there are a lot of questions that they still have to, I think, clarify for people. Yes. But I think at least the conversation that is necessary to clarify that is being had before the substantive budget presentation.
I hear you on that. Thank you for your time this morning. People forgetting, Dr. Spence, as you leave, that the gap between what we have received and collected and what we need to spend is $185 billion. It's not small money,
yes.
eh?
But they have time to make that point.
There you go. They have time to make the point. Thank you for your point, for your contribution this morning, and we'll talk again.
Okay then, George. Take care.
Dr. Nadine Spence there. It's 8 o'clock. Time for Across Jamaica. Front Page was brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales. For a better choice in the electrical business.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
8:01.
From the mountainside to seaside, countryside to townside, inside and outside, it's Across Jamaica this morning.
Taking you across Jamaica this Friday morning, Friday, February 13, 2026. The government plans to establish a Department of Family and Children's Services and reform the Youth and Adolescents Policy Division. Governor General Sir Patrick Allen advised that the initiative will strengthen governance and support evidence-based policy making. He was delivering the throne speech during the 2026-2027 ceremonial opening of Parliament at Gordon House on Thursday. For fiscal year 2026-27, Sir Patrick stated that legislative priorities in the Ministry of Education will include completing consultations on the Jamaica Teaching Council Bill and updating school governance regulations under the Education Act. Meanwhile, the Governor General noted that the Education Transformation Commission, ETOC, has to date implemented 33% of its recommendations. ETOC has been tasked with monitoring the implementation of recommendations outlined in the report of the Jamaica Education Transformation Commission, chaired by Professor Orlando Patterson. Sir Patrick further advised that the government will introduce a modern communication apparatus to guarantee Jamaicans access to accurate and unbiased public information. This, he said, will protect truth, strengthen trust, safeguard democratic values, and reinforce a shared national consciousness. In the meantime, Sir Patrick announced that the Jamaica Special Economic Zone Authority has facilitated nearly $1 billion in investments to date. The Governor General noted that these include $34 million during fiscal year 2025-26. He pointed out that this is among several investments undertaken by the government in 2025-2026, which have strengthened Jamaica's investment climate, supported micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, MSMEs, and advanced major reforms, even as the nation continues to recover from Hurricane Melissa. He highlighted that other significant investments were advanced, among them Accelerate Energy's just over $1 billion acquisition of New Fortress Energy's liquefied natural gas, LNG, and power platform. Sir Patrick further noted that manufacturers benefited from $82 billion in tax relief under the Productive Incentive Relief Program, while 52 MSMEs received $18 million in grants. Finally, in across Jamaica this Friday morning, the 48-hour curfew that was imposed in the Kingston Eastern Policing Division has been extended. The curfew continued from 6 p.m. on Thursday, February 12, and will remain in effect until 6 p.m. on Saturday, February 14. The boundaries of the curfew are north along the mountain ridge from Mountain View Primary School to Cane River Falls. It extends east from Cane River Falls to the bridge at 10 Miles Bull Bay, and south along the coastline from the bridge at 10 Miles Bull Bay to Flag Circle. The curfew also extends west along South Camp Road from Flag Circle to Vineyard Road onto Mountain View Primary School. During the hours of the curfew, persons within the boundaries are required to remain indoors unless otherwise authorized by the person in charge of enforcing the measure. And that's it for Across Jamaica for this Friday morning. I'm Tona Thomas.
The Commission of Strata Corporations is here to help, but we need your help too. That's why corporations are required to file annual returns. Annual returns include minutes of AGMs and EGMs, names and addresses of executive committee members, certificates of insurance, and completed forms and fees. Help us, help you. File your annual returns today. Visit reb.gov.jm for more information.
If you've ever called in, shared your story, or got help on this show, then you're already family. Now make it official. Join the nationwide 90FM Family Club today on Patreon.
The following is brought to you by the National Housing Trust, the key to your home.
Get home with NHT. More possibilities. Get home with NHT.
Let's be real. Managing a home, a job, and a million other things can cause you to forget a single date, no matter how important. If you have an NHT mortgage, forgetting that payment can be a major source of stress. But what if you could prevent the panic? Here are some simple practical tips to make sure you stay on track with your mortgage payments.
Kim, today's what date?
Marie, why you frightened me for? It's Monday.
Date, not day.
Oh, the 14th.
Oh no.
What happened?
How this catch me, man? It's always the first of the month, every month. Oh man.
You worry me now. Is what happened?
My NHT mortgage not pay yet. I don't know how this reached me. Me have it right down. See it here? The first of every month.
Maybe that's the problem, Mar. Why you don't make an arrangement with them to pay automatic? And you don't have to worry about it every month.
It crossed my mind, you know. But I can't find the time with everything else that's happening.
Well, you better try find it. Because this is the first time you miss. But to how you move of late, it won't be the last.
Try not put your mouth on me. This can't reach me again. Suppose me lose my little house and have to come live with your Kim.
Live with who? So the phone here. 888 call NHT.
Thank you for calling the National Housing Trust. How may I help you?
I really hope you can help me, sir, because I don't know how this happened to me. I had so many things happening this month. School fee for pay, insurance, mommy, doctor bill, and in all of that, I forget my mortgage. Please do. Tell me it's not too late.
Okay, let me check. At the NHT, we understand how life gets sometimes. When was your last payment? Is your account up to date?
Yes. If it's one thing about Marie Susanna Dalworth, me always pay my mortgage. Well, except for this month.
That's great, Miss Dalworth. I see you have been making consistent payments. I don't want you to worry too much about this month, as your payment was due on the 1st of the month. But you have up until the 15th of the month to pay without incurring any penalties, like interest.
That's good to hear. I have a little breathing room so I can make the payment today.
Well, since I have you here, let me just tell you of the different ways in which you can pay your mortgage so you can stay on track with your payments.
Okay.
First is salary deduction. You can visit any of our offices, complete a form authorizing us to request the payment to be taken directly from your salary each month. It comes to us before you even see it, getting rid of the temptation to spend it. It's seamless, and you never have to remember a date.
You know, I remember hearing about it during my loan interview, but I figured I could do it myself. I'm definitely considering this as an option right now.
Perfect. You could also do a standing order at your bank. You could go to your bank or online banking platform and arrange for recurring payment to be made to your NHT mortgage account on your chosen date each month. You control the date and it runs automatically from your account.
Thank you so much, sir. This is a real weight off of my shoulder. I'm going to come in and settle my current payment today and make a plan for those in the future. My house is the biggest investment I have, so I have to do everything I can to keep my keys.
Okay, that sounds good. Don't miss a beat with your mortgage payments when you pay the 1st of every month. Visit your nearest NHT branch or our website at nht.gov.jm for further details. Or call us at 876-929-6500 or 888-CALL-NHT.
Get home with NHT. More possibilities. Get home with NHT. Turn a dream home into reality. From vision to foundation, for many generations. Home buyer or home builder, get to your destination. Get home with NHT.
The preceding was brought to you by the National Housing Trust, the key to your home.
Alsan Pest Control Services, the pest control experts you can trust. Contact us at 876-338-6056. The time courtesy of Alsan Pest Control Services is...
It's 8:11.
Fontana Pharmacy has a wide variety of items from pharmaceuticals, household, cosmetics, toys, and more. The temperature by Fontana Pharmacy, it's all good inside, is...
It's 23 degrees Celsius here in the capital city Kingston, 24 out west in Montego Bay, and it's 18 in Mandeville.
So some of you have been listening longer than I've been talking on radio, so this is our way of keeping it strong together. Join the Nationwide 90 FM Family Club on Patreon and stay with us.
I didn't hear you leave. I wonder how am I still here?
This show is your escape, your vibe, your reset.
But I will go down with this shit.
If Urban Paradise ever brings you peace, joy, or a little relief,
surrender.
Come closer.
What you won't do.
Join the Nationwide 90 FM Family Club today on Patreon.
You tried everything, but you don't give up.
Welcome back, listeners, viewers, to Nationwide this morning. We're going to switch gears here a little bit because the Norman Manley Law School will host a dining and mentorship program aimed at fostering professional excellence, and that's on Saturday, February 21, 2026. This prestigious event marks the commencement of a landmark series that will strengthen the connection between the legal profession across the Caribbean region and emerging practitioners. For more, we're now joined by the principal of the Norman Manley Law School. That's Dr. Christopher Malcolm. Good morning, Sir Malcolm.
Good morning, Siobhan. How are you doing? And morning to your listeners.
I'm doing quite well. I hope you are as well.
I am very well and happy to be on your program this morning.
And we are happy to have you. So please, Dr. Malcolm, explain to us what was the thought process between this dining and mentorship program?
Well, let me start by saying that nothing is ever new under the sun, But so these programs, when we think of them, it's not as though there's a light bulb that goes off and none like it has ever gone off. But the thinking behind it, to answer your question directly, is that we hear from time to time complaints, if you want to call it lamentations, if you want to call it that as well, of persons thinking of what they expect a lawyer to be, a new one, a young one at that, and what they observe. Whether this is correct and the extent to which is correct is another story. But what we do know is that we have an obligation as the Norman Manley Law School, being part of the Council of Legal Education Law Schools, to train our lawyers, or train persons for the legal practice across the Caribbean, and increasingly so for practice across the globe. And part of that training requires that we offer them skill sets that are not only about learning how to draft a contract, how to start a matter in court, how to argue in court, but also soft skills and matters relating to social graces, relating to how it is that you maintain camaraderie at the bar, and matters relating to passing on tradition in a profession that is built on tradition. The legal profession, at least the common law legal system in which we operate, started really and has always been one where you have skill sets, one, and also more general learning about how to behave at the bar and other things being passed on from seniors to juniors. And we believe that as part of this training program, we need to, as early as we can and in the best way possible, implement programs and initiatives that allow for our students to get exposed to the best mentoring possible, for our students to be in instances or circumstances where they're able to learn in a non-examination context, and to also find themselves being able to build on networks that can propel them and help them forward in their professions.
I'm glad you brought that up, Dr. Malcolm, because I think you've hit the nail on the head when it comes to not only the law profession, but a lot of professions seem to leave out that very key factor in terms of proper education, where it shouldn't just end at a book and what you teach in a classroom, but how you now apply that in terms of your interaction with others, such as individuals, clients, and the forward-facing element of your profession. So I'm happy to hear that the Norman Manley Law School is undertaking that. I'm assuming you identify that as a gap in terms of what has been the traditional training of the legal profession.
I tell you this, the fact is that the Norman Manley sits on a proud legacy of over 50 years of training lawyers. So let us not start from a position of believing that, we have not done well. We have done exceptionally well.
Yes.
And the product across the globe is there to see. However, as with any other program, you always need to reflect, and you always need to introduce, or in some instances reintroduce, programs and initiatives that are geared for a particular time, a particular season, to deal with issues as they come up. And one of the things we have learned, for example, over the last many years, is that the nature of our students or graduates or professionals, in whatever profession, the media included, that has changed with the advent of more fast-paced social media, with a number of other things happening where persons are much more inclined to wanting things now. And so we have to sometimes sit back, get a little more still, and then try to see how it is that we can remember. And in the process pass on those skills, reminding us all that we are in a lifetime of profession, and we're in a lifetime of living in an environment where we need to be caring towards each other. We need to find better ways to interact with each other. And we need to remember, quite frankly, as lawyers, that at the core, we're disputes management practitioners. We're into conflicts management, into peace initiatives and so on. At the core, regardless of whether you're a litigation lawyer, a chamber lawyer doing contracts and so on, at the core, we are either about helping persons to avoid disputes or helping them to resolve them. That's the core of what we do as a lawyer. And in doing that, the soft skills and how you relate to people and how you relate to yourself, quite frankly, are things that we have an obligation in our training to do, to assist students to be better at enfleshing who they are and to be better able to relate to the persons and their clients that they will deal with from day to day when they go into the profession.
An excellent initiative. So please explain to us on the day itself, February 21, that's the next week, Saturday, what will be the activities on the day?
Well, on the day we're having a dinner, and it's a full course dinner. So what we're doing is that we are inviting, in fact we have, it's primarily for our students, yes, but we have judges, we have members of the legal profession and persons from the law school itself as well coming out. And the idea is to have a properly seated area where you have designated seating and an opportunity for networking, an opportunity for persons to speak. And in addition, I must add that we will have Justice Hugh Small delivering a lecture. So it's not just about sitting and eating. It's also, as I said, about learning in a non-examination context. So, and in fairness to him, let me start here by saying, soon after I took office, he called me and he said, Chris, I need to meet with you and I need to talk to you about mentorship. And when I then reached out to him and subsequently said, we're having this, and I wish, he said, no, I'm on, full stop. And the only thing we were concerned about was getting it done. And then to go more, I must also reach out to members of the bar, in particular the class of 1997 that I'm a member of, and to TWP attorneys at law, Christopher Townsend and his partner, Casey and Kennedy Sherman, and their entire team who came and said, look, you have an initiative, deal with the logistics, we will make sure it is funded for you. And so it is that level of interaction and reaching out, because we're trying to enrich the ecosystem in which we work of our students, practitioners, alumni, everybody, so that we can use it to propel a better and a kinder nation, a better and a kinder region, and have persons who can be held up as being the best wherever they are in the world. And I think we owe it to ourselves, and we owe it to our students, certainly, to be assisting this program and initiative in the best way we can. We know, of course, that there are other lawyers who will, over time, come on board, because this is, as you've seen it, it's a pilot initiative.
Yes.
And we plan to have it going full steam, running from September, October, thereabouts, every year, not as a single event, but as an ongoing event with multiple agendas, initiatives being put on of a similar nature for the year. And then we're going to be moving as well into the broader mentorship initiative, not just to include persons locally, but also to include friends in the UK, Canada, US, and wherever, who may also want to assist our students as they develop, recognizing that the world has become increasingly more and more cross-border. So whatever you do here has implications in Dubai, Hong Kong, wherever, and we're trying to build out our students to become graduates who are best able to function in an interconnected world.
You answered partially my next question to you in terms of where will you go beyond just this single day of mentorship and dining. But then the next obvious logical follow-on to that is, will this become an integral part of the training and education at Norman Manley Law School?
And the short answer is yes. Yes, and so what I'll tell you is that what we have produced here is a pilot, as I said. Starting September, we will be having 4 similar initiatives each academic year. 2 in the first term, 2 in the second term. And we have missed out the third term simply because it's an examination term and all of that. And so we try to do what we can of this type of initiative in the first 2 terms. So we will be going forward, be having this as a calendar event, not in a single sitting of it, but several sittings for the year. And this is something we may even have greater number coming on board as we improve over time, but it is going to be integral to our training. And part of what I must say, the Norman Manley Law Schools itself, we always are looking, like other schools, at curriculum review and how we impact more. And one of the things we're always keen on is having more practical initiatives implemented. And this, as simple as it might seem, is a critical practical initiative, because when you're in practice, in the media, wherever you are, a critical element of what you do is learning how best to engage with others and how to interact with others. And this is a critical part of that.
Yes, very well said. It's Principal of the Norman Manley Law School, Dr. Christopher Malcolm. Thank you so much for joining us.
I may add just one
go ahead.
word, though. One quick word to say that we are not simply looking at our students, we look at the public. So the 2nd to the 5th of March, we're in fact putting on our next edition of our legal law, our law fair, Norman Manley Law School Legal Aid Clinic Law Fair, which is open to the public. It is going to be online, and we're inviting persons to subscribe there. But in addition, on the 5th of March, we're having an open day at the Norman Manley Law School, Gibraltar Hall Road campus, which is on the university campus of the University of the West Indies, Mona campus. And we're inviting persons to come out to learn more about the law, to get assistance from our students and our tutors and other persons, supported by the Legal Aid Council and with others. So look, and as they would say, watch the space and find ways as members of the public to interact with us and to support our initiatives, knowing that we're doing so for the betterment of our students and the overall betterment of the society.
Understood. So that is the 2nd and the 5th of March, and both of those events are open to the public.
It's 2nd to the 5th inclusive.
Oh, 2nd to the 5th.
Yeah, but the first 3 days will be done online.
Understood.
But the final day is an in-person event.
Understood. All right, I'm sure we will hear more about this from you here on Nationwide, Dr. Malcolm. But again, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much, and have a wonderful rest of the day on the program.
Same to you.
Okay.
We take a break, listeners, and then we come back with more.
Unlock winnings, unlock value, unlock postpaid with Digicel. Sign up for your postpaid plan now, win $1 million. When you sign up and unlock postpaid with Digicel, you can win up to $1 million and more. Just sign up or switch to postpaid, upgrade or activate an add-on in the My Digicel app. Pay your bill in full on time and you can win an iPhone 17 Pro Max every week. A bill write-off up to $10 grand, a grand prize of $1 million. Unlock winnings with Digicel. Better connected.
Authorized under Section 58 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Conditions apply. Promotion valid from February 6 to April 4.
This station raised me. It gave me a voice. And if Nationwide has ever meant something to you, come on in. Join the Nationwide 90 FM Family Club today on Patreon.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. So, the Nationwide Family Club, we shout out our club members every day. You can get on the Nationwide Family Club by going to patreon.com/ nationwidenewsnetwork.com. On February 13, we added Sharice Simpson. Welcome, Sharice. Carleen McCogg. Welcome, Carleen. Chrissy Toyloy. Welcome, Chrissy. And there is a long list of people who joined us before February 12 and February 13. Today, for those Family Club members, right now you can go there and you can watch that lifetime interview we did with Carleen Davis. And you can also watch that interview that Miss Kitty did with Favour Williams in the feature we called Women in Politics. You can also see Chev this morning. You're gonna upload that video, Jeremy, the one that you shot this morning? Yeah, Chevron in the pre-dawn hours. Well, dawn lasts a long time these days, you know, so pre-dawn is like 6 o'clock, I play still dark. In the very early morning, Chevron was here from after 4 this morning. So you could see as he was getting ready. And you can see my red fit for the day as well. Yeah, so Family Club members, a lot for you to unpack. Remember that there are documentaries there as well. Nick Photoworks story, Jamil Mendez story, and of course that Kevin Smith documentary. And a lot of things you can see there, including the What's on My Mind segments. And of course the segment of the Cliff Hughes Online show, whether it's Tyrone or Ricardo doing it, where they opine on the news of the day. So a lot to unlock. And yeah, that's all there if you're a part of the Nationwide Family Club. May we say... Oh, you're saying?
No, go
okay.
ahead.
King, I asked you for a Junior Reid song earlier, sir, and I've been singing it all morning. May it please you to give me my song, Mr. King. Banana Boat Man. Junior Reid. One Blood. Beg the tune of that. Sure. Please and thanks. Please and thanks. Reggae Month. I want to send a special good morning to all of the academic staff, the ancillary staff, the security personnel, the groundsman, the cooks in the canteen. All of you, a special good morning to you. Jonathan Grant High School, 1A White Church Street, Spanish Town, for the environment you've created for these wonderful students that you have performing in the School Challenge Quiz. Now, me tell them, you know, if you don't ever make we win this a cup, I don't know what Jamaica gonna do with me. I don't know what the world are gonna do with me when we don't celebrate. Yeah? Jonathan Grant High School taking another prized scalp on Thursday night. Arden High falling at our feet. Yeah? And so many have bitten the dust. Yeah? One by one them going to fail. One by one them going to fail. One by one them going to fail. One by one. Congratulations, my side. Big up on yourself. And yeah, to the team at Jonathan Grant High School, the coaches, and especially to the students. Good morning to all of you. Yeah, strive for excellence is what we say at that 1A White Church Street institution. Drop the tune, King. Morning, Annie Smith over there in London. No, you're gonna love the one there, Annie. Give me some flames, Annie.
Say, oh, Johnny Chopper, never have no passport. Never travel through Norman on the airport. Lead down at the one poor man airport. Oh, him leave out on a banana boat. Now them a run things. Reach up a foreign and a run things.
Good morning, Marigold. Good morning, Marigold.
Say, ragamuffin in a yard, in a parrot, in a Bronx, Manhattan Lad, in a Brooklyn. Ragamuffin reach foreign, but no Yankee thing. Never decide to marry and put on a ring. Send Ragaya for him original thing. Make she no Bronx, Manhattan, make she no Brooklyn. My run thing. See the ragamuffin in my run thing. Hear me now. Ow. So
King, you're gonna give me all fruits right now.
Never travel through Norman man the airport.
You know it.
Lead down at the one poor man airport. Oh, him leave out on a banana boat. Then him ride him family, ride him along road. Carry my driver, convert every sport. Everything in a remote, controlled by remote. $5 a day away, him carry fame float. Him a run thing.
$5 a day fame float. Blur it.
The ragga rich up in and a run.
Hold on, put up the song, King. Put up the song, King. Keshavan. The man says in the song that a $5 a day him carry him float. What does he mean?
You're gonna have to explain that one to me.
You've never heard that expression
Never heard that one before.
All right, let me explain it to you this way. So imagine a vendor or a merchant who sells goods to people.
Yes.
Right? So you go to open your shop. Clearly, you're anticipating that people are going to come to your establishment who have big money.
Yes.
So you need to carry a float So you need to carry cash so you can make change if people come to you. So the bigger your float, the more resources you have. Yeah, so the man said, so this song was in the 1980s, right, King? Banana 80s, right? Imagine a man have $5,000 film float in the 80s. Enough money that you know. It's just like, what other King? It's just like when, King is just like when Gregory did say, shoes cost a few hundred a pair. I mean, I have money all through the year. Give me rumors them spreading, the King. Do me a big. Give me rumors them spreading. Rumors them spreading.
In a Brooklyn, ragamuffin reach foreign, button up Yankee thing. Never decide to marry and put on a ring. Sing back a yard for him original thing. Mention no Bronx, man, not to mention no Brooklyn. My run thing. See the ragamuffin in my run thing. Hear me now. How? Say, oh, John reach a foreign, him no passport. Never travel through Norman man the airport. Lead down on the walk, poor man airport.
King, you know, say I go make the listeners them come for you though. You know it already, you know King. You know it now. Alright. You know it now, King. King, you know it now. King, you know better than that, you know. You know it now. Okay. Yes.
The ragga reach a foreign and a run things. Lord.
Here, Beverly Ricketts. George Davis, how many times the great Arden won SCQ? That's not the point. And Arden is great. But he does not win this year because we knock on out. Morning, Bev. What you have now, youth? Reggae man.
Married life is a secret.
Pull up that. Junior One Blood Reed dropped the tune again, my youth. Oh, you know how long Junior Reed make hits? From your walk out primary school. King, you have to give me rumors to find some call feed.
Married life is a serious thing.
Careful how you put on your wedding ring.
Married life is a serious thing.
June!
Careful how you put on the ring. So married to them was an opportunity. Oh, they get big in our society. So married to them want a position. Then them go with a money man. So married to them want a superstar. Down that they want. So married to them want a fancy car. Then them call themselves
husband and wife, husband and wife,
husband and wife, husband and wife. Problem and misery in a them life, in a them life, in a them life. Some are married, some are divorced. Them some of them break life to
long time I don't hear this now. Come true.
Oh, it's a shame I'm feeling pain. Oh, it's a shame I'm feeling
cool and deadly.
My brothers and my sister going down the drain.
Cool and deadly.
Brothers and my sister going down the drain. The Babylon released the chain.
And them I use them brain.
I want to know that Babylon released the chain.
And them I use them brain. King, you know, so you only play great songs, right? This morning, I want to challenge you. So when you find out if you're squeezing the rumors and the more you give me something from Shinehead. Yeah? Yeah, man. Jesus, please. Just the rhythm alone is a hit, you know. Just the rhythm alone is a hit. What do I say?
Rumors them spreading. Claim that I sense in me planting. But I'm a nanny juggling. I feel rumors of war. Mr. African, let go of me hand. You don't know me and you don't understand. You see me flashing a Chris rental. So you think that me a criminal. Rumors that spreading.
Don't pull it in, look at the line, don't come in, King. Don't pull.
But I'm a nanny juggling. I feel rumors of war. Rumors of war. I keep a dancing to nice up the place.
Buy no liquor and bread out them face. A man have money to spend. And all the youth them know me are them friend. Don't bull King. Kai bad verse a come now. What man say?
But I'm a nanny juggling. I feel rumors of war.
What man say?
Rumors of war.
No matter what Nana Jewel me wear. Cause me pants it no have no tear. Chevon, shoes cost a few hundred a pair. And me have money all through the year. Or who was them spending? What Gregory? Alright, King, what you give me though? King. Oh, Shabba, okay. Yeah, watch it, the King.
Face to face, we must meet, man. If it's on the beach.
Rexton, Ralston, Fernando Gordon, and June Carol Lodge.
You make my day every time. You sound so sweet on the line. You make my day every time.
Hey, KC, I hear me. Done with the phone talking, as a matter of fact, me I come over there.
No!
Woman, me a dream about you all the time. You know, say that you ever eat up and I mind. Woman, you a dream about
Dancehall's Emperor.
That's why you keep on calling on the telephone. She just dip on me mind, dip on me mind, dip on me, dip on me, dip on me, dip on me mind. As me talk to the girl up on the telephone line, when me hang up the phone, right in her mind. As me talk to the girl up on the telephone line, when me hang up, me just right in her mind.
When you call, I feel so good. Wish you were living in my neighborhood so you could hang up the phone and rush on over. Pick up where we left off under the cover.
If she is bad, she just see me all the time. If she is bad, she hear me
Look at the jump.
all the time. She say me sweeter than when corn is wine. Don't tell the world is like
Look at the jump.
She loves me now.
What the man they say? Calvin Scott. What the man name? Sweet, sweet cocoa.
Whoa, she loves me now.
Talk to her now, Rastaman. Talk to her now. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Got to give thanks and praise unto the Father. A long time I man want this little daughter.
She loves me now.
Oh, she loves me now. She loves me now. Oh, she loves me now.
After me talk to the mother and the father, send love letters with the brothers and sisters. Them a talk how I can't get the daughter, but see they know one naughty dreadlocks take over. She loves me now.
Ooh, she loves me now.
She loves me now. Whoa, she loves me now. I'm hoping it's nation.
Cheese and peas and peas and peas. What?
No, it's me.
Come now, melody, melody. Darling, why
do I get butterflies?
Cheese and peas.
Every time I'm kissing you, when you hold me tight and close your eyes, do you get
question now? What's the question bothering my mind? Me I wonder which way she love, which one she love, which one she love. Me I wonder which one she love.
If I home tear on the
Ricardo Brooks,
one thing for sure,
a Chevon Campbell,
because they're in love.
a Clifton Gladstone St. Patrick Hughes,
One shy, one get butterfly.
a Jermaine King.
Crazy and that's no line. You wonder
Which one we she love? Which one we she love? Which one we she love? Me I wonder which one we she love.
Darling, why does my heart skip a beat every time you pass my
Yeah, man.
way? I get tongue-tied and choked up inside. I can't find the right words to say.
Cheese and peas and
Love them, because we love them.
pirates. Them a call us worthless 4%ers. Just because we play what the people want. Them a call us pirates. Them a call us worthless 4%ers.
DTI try stop us, but they can't.
What do we say now? What do we say now? One station, two station, 3 station. Everybody have a listen to Nationwide station. We made 5 more strong.
Down in England, we've got
lots of radio stations playing the people music night and day. Yeah, reggae, calypso, ATM or disco.
the latest sound today is what we play. On and on.
On and on.
Off and on.
Off and on. Oh my gosh.
Run up and down like Jamba dance. I am crazy in the eye. Stick to one man, you love it too much. Tell me which one. If me Peter, Paul or John. Me no right to know.
The race is on, but I'm competing, it's a competition.
Alright.
Tell me which one.
Say that.
Nationwide #1.
The race is on, but I won't compete in this competition. That's not right, woman. Why you run
What
up
you
and
mean?
down? Why you run up and down? Me say no, it but one
Man, you don't want to settle down. Why you run up and down? Why you run up and down? Me said no.
One man, you don't want to settle down.
are living in a Admiral Tibet, come true. What man say?
Do you right and
The time so serious.
cantankerous and dangerous. Dangerous. Yeah. It's only in the Father. You know I put my trust. Come in the trust. The time is so serious. Cantankerous and dangerous.
Dangerous. Ninja, Tibet and Shabba. What man say?
In a eating rush.
Revelation.
But you have to take it with tender touch.
Revelation.
It's on every ghetto youth one get big up.
Revelation.
One get big up, and if you want to live up, read your Bible and think about God enough. Think about that and then you get God up. If it's a man, me no say that in the crop. That one the rhythm and bad as a prof. Tell the world say that me a hot stuff. Time is so serious. Cantankerous and dangerous.
The same thing again, man.
Come now, brother Desmond.
Only in the Father.
And then Desmond Mackenzie is Desmond Valentine.
Alone, man. Salvation last.
What man say? And a verse of me with pancake. Come on, man. What man say?
All over the world, everyone is.
When the man say Lego Ninja shirt promoter. Revelation or reveal.
I need to open to the people then. Let me tell you, miss nations and nations. Father against son, mother against daughter again. Oh no, let me tell you, revelation or reveal. And no look and no listen, me friend. Let me tell you, turn your eyes unto Jah. And not suffer your life now go ahead. Let me tell you,
so serious. Cantankerous and dangerous.
Jesus bees. This is Chevon Campbell, Norman Washington Jackson, aka Tiger from Standpipe in Eastern St. Andrew. One of the wickedest DJs ever. Hey Patsy and you girl Jim. I hear some of the teeth some close from his screen. I hear short for like for all of them. See, come again. Win.
What kind of money them spend?
Ying.
5 4 and where they want it.
10.
So me and you teach some money.
Win. See, come again.
Where the cat in a London name?
Big Ben. Listen, you see music? Music is not about intricate lyrics and multisyllabic rhymes and dropping what do you call it? Subliminals. It's just music. You get the beat and you just work with the beat. Jesus, please singing sweet. Come on, you. You really go singing sweet?
I don't know, see, baby.
What do man say?
Sometimes I wonder I'll never make it to.
Jesus.
To this world would have.
King, what already made him again? Born for Born with him?
Yeah,
man. Born for Born with Captain Barky.
Sometimes it seems that this world closing ahead of me, and there's no way of breaking free. And then I see you reach for me. Sometimes I wanna give up, I wanna give in, I wanna quit the fight.
Me not spoil the chorus. Sing the chorus, singing sweet.
Everything's alright.
King.
And everything's alright.
Sing the chorus, take a boy.
When I see you can face the world. Oh, you know I can do anything. When I see you smile, I see your rings of life. Oh, I see you shining right through the way now. When I see you smile, oh girl, baby, when I see you smile at me.
Hey,
oh,
I don't say Coca-Cola because you might around the place.
I don't know, see,
Good morning, Cordial Green. No, I can't right with this morning,
baby,
so.
there's nothing in this world I could ever do. The touch of your hands can do. It's like nothing that I ever need. Yeah, and when the
Come down,
rain's
youth.
falling, I can feel it.
Who is it? Reggie Stepper or Joseph Stepper? What are they doing? Come down, youth.
Sexy baby, if
All them
everything's
attack.
alright.
Cause you don't know you are your one left. You are fame choice, fame first prize. Jump on shotgun, girl, and you are the wife. You are the wife, wife. Man first choice, wife. You wear the ring, wife. You are get everything, wife. You come first, wife. Him a fat up your purse, and him attack. King, ease up the tune then. For all of you who say Desmond Mackenzie is a sure winner. You see, we keep the clash narrow, King, to just hold it. Then Desmond not go win. But if we broaden the clash to music, Desmond can't swim. You don't know this. Desmond not go drown in a tune. So all I want to hype up, oh, Desmond I play some tune from 1830 and 1912. That's fine. If we confine the clash to there, no, Desmond have the advantage. But if Desmond say want a musical clash across genres, across eras, he might gonna need help. That's all me I say. Play the tune, Mr. King. King now play the more tune.
Ask yourself this question. Wanna say, oh no, I done, man. And I wanna run the program. Tell me, have you ever sat to think what make a girl cheat? Have you ever asked her?
All right. Yeah, man. We that. Birthday time now, Mr. King. Birthday time now, Mr. King. Mr. Green listens to this program, you know, sir. So, I don't know you. Put me that a problem.
Sisters, good lady. How you doing? Hope you're doing fine. Brand new musical, this mix up and blend for a man like that and Johnny the San Jose. Yeah. Real keen from a record machine to the spot when I was seeing Biggie Rock and come in as I will tell you. Brand new musical, this make you jump on twist, speaking of this. Tell you about it. Sometimes it's hard, but try and you'll make it. Believe you me. In order to achieve, go forth and take it. Set yourself free. With obstacles in your way, you may fall before you rise. But if you really want good, you know how to run. So get up and keep your eyes on the prize. So as part of your plan, you feel your ambition, and the Almighty One as your foundation. Hey, nobody get rich and rich because that's definitely wrong. I beg you, no, don't forget your
King, let's do some birthdays.
You come from if you are thief. Remember God.
Seven.
Well, happy birthdays going out to Limar Rowe at the St. James Division. That's Constable Limar Rowe, Constable Cadian Rochester at the Manchester Division, Mr. Adrian Atkinson at the Kingston Division, Mr. Maurice Rodriguez at Savlamar, Ms. Nicole McKenzie at the Ministry of Labour in Falmouth. All celebrating their birthday on this lovely Friday morning. Also, we have some Saturday celebrants. That's Constable Devine Davis at the Trelawney Division, Mrs. Jennifer Jenny Small at Kingston, Miss Salome Davis at Sav, and Mr. Desron Graham at Kingston, as well as Mrs. Ceciline Golding at Bounty Hall, Trelawney, and this is all coming from someone simply called the Sarge. Happy birthday to you, all celebrating today and tomorrow. Over on Facebook, we have birthday greetings for Romeo Folks, Alfonso Richards, Jeannie Dinnell, Lorraine Rodden, Anessa Wilson, Detania Gregg, and as well as Survivor Vanessa, all celebrating their birthday today. Happy birthday to you all. I trust you will have a lovely, lovely Friday. Ignore the 13th. It means nothing. Enjoy your special day.
All right, I have a birthday greeting here. Please say happiest blessed birthday to Jason Daswell. Today he's officially off the calendar, coming from his 27 brothers and sisters. Jason Daswell, 27 brothers and sisters. Mercy. Wow. Yeah.
Be fruitful
27
and
brothers and
multiply.
sisters.
Be
So Jason
fruitful
Dazzle,
and multiply.
happy birthday to you, sir, off the calendar.
Till you came along. No, you made me realize that by your side forever is where I'm.
Merlene Russell says happy birthday to me. So happy birthday, Merlene Russell. All the best to you on this day. Melissa Williams says happy 5th anniversary to Mr. and Mrs. Graham at Bogwalk. May your love grow stronger each year. I love you. Yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Graham from Bogwalk in St. Catherine. Melissa Williams sending happy 5th wedding anniversary to you. Let me see if I see any more. Christopher Martin. Today's Christopher Martin's birthday? Oh, where I said. Big up yourself, Christopher Martin. Yeah, big deal. Chris Martin's birthday today. Happy birthday to you, brother. A Manchester United supporter as well. And a good man, Chris Martin. All the best to you on this day party. Donovan Walker says happy birthday to my brother Barry Peter White, celebrating his birthday on Saturday. So Barry Peter White, your birthday is on February 14. Your brother Donovan Walker saying happy birthday to you in advance.
Andre Spence saying, hi Siobhan and George, please send birthday greetings to my niece Shantae in Texas. Wishing you a wonderful and amazing birthday. Love her always. That's coming from Andre Spence to Shantae, her niece in Texas.
Well, you put them there. Oh, yes. Golden touch. Do you know the power you possess? Yes.
All right, time to take us out of the show, Siobhan. What say you?
Well, it has been a lovely, lovely morning. Thank you all for joining us here on Nationwide this morning. Thanks to our super producer for the morning, that's Michelle McCrae Smith, the musical maestro who put down the beats, enabled by George Davis, obviously, but it's still for David. Sorry, why do I keep saying David? sorry.
Brother, seriously? King man, go ahead, David.
I keep saying David King. Sorry about that. King, enjoy your day as well. And thanks to all in the newsroom, Kimon Thompson, Tana Thomas.
Kimon Thompson up on leave.
Oh, she's on leave. I wasn't aware she was on leave. Sorry. Well, Tana Thomas, who held down the fort for us this morning.
Yes.
And all, please enjoy the Saturday as it comes up. And we'll see you all again next week. I'm Siobhan Campbell.
Morning, Siobhan. My name is George.
I wanna love you and treat you right. I wanna love you every day and every night. We'll be together with the roof right over our heads. We'll share the shelter of my sin.